What's going on, guys? It's Creator here, back for a new video, and this is I'm about to do while I'm off. Because first of all, I just woke up. I do apologize for that, but I couldn't miss my own podcast. What's up, guys? It's Creator here, and this is a new episode of This Week in Wrestling. This is episode 15, the final build to Money in the Bank. It's just gonna be me today. Ron couldn't make it today, but he did give in his predictions for Money in the Bank. So later in the show, I'll definitely be when I go over prediction. I'm giving his predictions as well, compare it to mine, see if it match up. Why I think we disagree on that part, and so forth. That would be near the end of the show where we give our official predictions for Money in the Bank. But this is This Week in Wrestling, where we talk about everything that happened in the wacky world of wrestling, mainly WWE, sometimes everything if it's caught up. And I'm mad at Ron's not here because we can talk about the whole Bray Wyatt and JoJo situation, but we can't talk about that. So I just give my opinion. If I get his opinion next week on it. If you like today's video, make sure that like button, comment in the live chat. You also give your prediction as well for Money in the Bank. And hell, since I'm by myself, if you want to call in, if you feel like I want to be part of the show, give your predictions. Just call in and just have fun in chat if you're here. Before we start, I guess just give you a schedule of my channel, because this is usually the only time I get these schedules for my channel since I don't do Twitch streams anymore. This week I do plan on showing you an unboxing of the SH Figure Arts Blue Buster and SH Figure Arts Kurosaki Banana, and then I'll be probably it'll be those two videos next week, and then the following week I would hope, because that week I originally had 2 days off work. So I was planning on actually starting reviewing the Go Buster stuff, starting with the Morpher. And hopefully you had it by this week. But the following week, I had 2 days off to work on it. But sadly, that's not the case because of work. Basically, what happened was an employee, I don't know for whatever reason, I don't know if because he decided to take the whole week off unexpectedly, or I don't know, district manager, because the previous day he did a no call, no show. Then he got taken off schedule for the whole week. So I originally had off Monday and Thursday, but because the guy called out, I'm now working Monday. So basically, I'm gonna be watching Money in the Bank and then going to work at 4 o'clock in the morning afterwards. Try that out. And then I was also supposed to have a date with my girl, but it's gonna still happen. But it's just I rather like to be resting and sleeping in the morning. So I'm going to be working and then going straight on the day. And then with Monday Night Raw's Monday, it's just so frustrating, all because one employee got screwed everything up. That's fine. Hours is hours, work is work, money is money, right? At the end of the day, money is money. Can't really complain, but it's just now I don't have my next day off until Thursday. So yay, I guess. Anyway, there's that. So basically, this week you look forward to the unboxing of the SH Figure Arts Blue Buster, unboxing of Kurosaki Banana, another This Week in Wrestling. Talk about the fallout from Money in the Bank, and hopefully, now I don't know when we have time to do it now. Probably Thursday, by the time I can actually work on a review, since that's my off day. I'll start working on my reviews for my stuff. So start with the SH Figure Arts, the morphing brace from Go Busters. Hopefully that'll be out by the following week. I would hope. Otherwise, I would have liked to have 2 days. Also have 2 days to work on some reviews and stuff. The goal was to work on the review on Monday, and then by Thursday have it up ready for the following week. But that's not going to happen. But that's happens in life. So that's why these days I wish my YouTube channel was actually profitable, so I could just be doing YouTube full time. I have no issue doing YouTube full time if I didn't have to work. But yeah, that's been my week. Let's just get started on the wrestling stuff. First things first. We start with any related news that happened. I hope you guys can actually hear me. I'm just gonna mute myself for a second. Okay, so I can hear myself. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't talking. You guys can hear me the whole time. We're gonna start off with the update in terms of, if this will just move. Kurt Angle's WWE future. Basically, if you guys are unaware, according to Dave Meltzer and Wrestling News Radio, the officials are planning on doing a match between Triple H and Hall of Famer Kurt Angle in the near future. He did not comment on when the match will take place or how to get there, but it involves the current storyline that's happening between Corey Graves and Kurt Angle. It also is known that Stephanie Man should be scheduled to make her TV appearance soon. No idea what that was. So to play part of this. Remember, ever since Kurt Angle came back today, Stephanie Man been off of TV because, again, she went through that table at WrestleMania 33 thanks to Seth Rollins, or mainly Triple H, but thanks to Seth Rollins mainly. So Kurt Angle is obviously expected to go to feud with Triple H. My thoughts on that? I don't have an issue with it as long as they play it right. I mean, see Kurt Angle in the ring again is awesome to begin with. I would expect to be Triple H, what I expected to be. If this is at SummerSlam, I'm all for it. If this is at SummerSlam, I'm completely all for it. But what I would like Triple H to do, since he's been putting over Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 33, put over WrestleMania. The only right thing, hold on for a second, guys. The only right thing to do would be to put over, the only right thing to do would to put over Dean Ambrose. I forgot it was drawing blank in my head. Dean Ambrose must have been 34. Yes, all three remember the Shield. It makes sense. So hopefully this is a SummerSlam thing. This SummerSlam. I mean, we need another marquee match at SummerSlam. Why not? Triple H versus Kurt Angle. That's definitely a marquee match at SummerSlam. Besides Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, which is rumored, as well as John Cena potentially facing Jinder Mahal or Roman Reigns. I have no idea. Go to pages because they're being dicks. All right, so yeah, there's that, and I guess we will find out eventually after Great Balls of Fire. The story starts to build. Might actually have a preview at Great Balls of Fire in terms of Kurt Angle, what have you. If Triple H does come back or Stephanie does come back, we'll find out. So, but there's my prediction. I would like to think that this will take place at SummerSlam since the story started now. I can't see them taking this story all the way to WrestleMania about who the hell is texting Kurt Angle slander stuff and whatever. I can't see this happening all the way to WrestleMania because they somehow managed to drag Seth Rollins to Triple H from September all the way to WrestleMania. I can't see the same thing happening with Kurt Angle, especially if Kurt Angle doesn't even wrestle. So I would like to think this will happen at SummerSlam, and then Triple H will face Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania 34. Those are my predictions for Kurt Angle in terms of his in-ring future. Otherwise, I'm just glad to see him back regardless. Moving on. The update on Braun Strowman. First of all, I was going to make sure I can still hear myself. Okay, I can. Back to the update on Braun Strowman. According to PWInsider.com, the superstar Braun Strowman has cleared to return to the ring. Strowman, who has been out of action suffering elbow injury months ago, was reportedly cleared to return to action a week ago, but was waiting for W Creative to restart him into TV storylines. A reported prior to extreme rules, a current player for Strowman to face Brock Lesnar for the title at SummerSlam in August after Lesnar has his one and done match with Samoa at Great Balls of Fire. So here's what I think is going to happen. If you remember, this week I was going to say on Raw, Roman Reigns, just spoiling what I'm going to be talking about in Raw. Roman Reigns is going to make a SummerSlam announcement. I feel like this SummerSlam announcement was going to be him challenging for the Universal title. Whoever wins the match at Great Balls of Fire. However, Strowman's going to come out and say, "No, bro, no, I'm not finished with you, and I want to shot the Universal title," which will lead Kurt Angle to announce at Great Balls of Fire in the number one contenders match. Braun Strowman will face Roman Reigns. Whoever wins that match will go on to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. That's how I feel like that's going to play out. And then after, because Braun Strowman is probably going to definitely win that match at Great Balls of Fire. Roman Reigns is going to be inserted into a feud with The Miz. I feel like The Miz Dean Ambrose feud will be at Great Balls of Fire. Thanks to Elias Sampson. So Dean Ambrose will be focused on Elias Sampson. Roman Reigns focuses on The Miz, and then Braun Strowman focuses on Lesnar. And Joe probably facing Balor. And you see how that just works out. It's just everything just falls into place. Basically, that's what I think is gonna happen. I'm glad to see Braun Strowman back again. Braun Strowman was the best thing that happened on Raw ever since WrestleMania was over. So I'm glad to see him back. Hopefully he does get his shot at Brock Lesnar. Hopefully he does freaking finish his Roman Reigns. I swear to God, if he does not come back with a shirt that says "I'm not finished with you," I will be very irritated. It's a missed opportunity. I'm just saying. And then Davies reportedly pitching a free agent angle for John Cena's SmackDown Live return. As noted, WWE superstar John Cena returning to WWE on July 4th edition of SmackDown. According to PW Insider, has been a pitch made WWE created Cena to be a free agent when he returns, which will allow him to freely appear on both Raw and SmackDown. Cena last appeared on WTA WrestleMania 33, during which he proposed to blah blah. Okay, so in terms of, I think the idea is fine because again they need star power for both Raw and SmackDown, so I can see him being I can see him potentially what they could do. It's doing like a double feud thing, but his main feud is gonna be on SmackDown. Like per example, for Raw, he could potentially feud with, let's say, Finn Balor, maybe, or who's another top heel on the roster? Miz again. Like he may have some unfinished business. Miz. Let me check that out real quick. I will be right back, guys. It's sort of dumb. I do apologize. There is it. All right. I apologize, guys. I am back. Basically, it's just my brother was doing something. Everything's good. Everybody's okay. We are good. So let's just continue. Basically, in terms of John Cena returning as free agent, like I said, it's hard. Now think about it, he won't be feud. Well, who can he feud with on Raw? I feel like this is just a ploy, and we just add something new. Like, hey, might appear on Raw, so tune in to Raw. In reality, he's just going to be on SmackDown. Because again, I feel like what's going to happen at SummerSlam is going to be Jinder Mahal versus John Cena. I think they're going to set the seeds at Battleground. Here's what I think is going to happen. Because John Cena returned July 4th, which is right before Battleground, like a few weeks before Battleground. So what I think is going to happen is he's going to return. He's going to say, okay, at this point, Jinder Mahal, I would like to think is still WWE champion. After Money in the Bank this Sunday, I would like to think that. So he's going to be announced. He's going to try to do the impossible, which is a 17-time champion against he faced Jinder Mahal, become a 17-time champion. No one in history and WWE has ever been able to do that, or in wrestling period, 17 times. And Jinder Mahal is going to be stopping him. So at Battleground, he's going to face Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal is going to win that one. At SummerSlam, the bigger part of summer, John Cena is going to become the 17-time champion, only to lose it a couple minutes later, thanks to the Money in the Bank winner, which I will predict later in the show. I won't say who I think it's going to be, but he only loses a few minutes later. That's how I would book it for SummerSlam. But yeah, I feel like the whole free agent thing doesn't. There's just a ploy in there. You say, hey, if John Cena's going to appear on Raw, you better tune in to Raw. In reality, all honesty, I think he's just going to be on SmackDown. That's it. I can't see him. Again, he returned July 4th on SmackDown. He could have just returned to Raw just to prove himself that he's a free agent. But I mean, yeah, we will just find out. And I think that's all the wrestling news for like in terms of like backstage news or like major news. That's all the wrestling news. So we'll just get started on Raw. So give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so there you go. All right, here we go. Raw, it emanated from Los Angeles, I guess. The Cajun Dome, LA, Philadelphia. I would like to think that was Los Angeles. First started with Brock Lesnar because again, Brock Lesnar was advertised the whole week to return on Raw to answer Samoa Joe. Obviously, Paul Heyman was with him, and basically, Paul Heyman was saying, "Hey, Brock Lesnar, he's here. He's not afraid of you, just like you know, and just like you're not afraid of him. He's not afraid of you. He's ready for a fight. He will not stand for what he did with Paul Heyman. You know, he did say Paul Heyman did deserve that because probably he knew it was going to happen, but still, he had to pick up a fight. Samoa Joe came out, and he didn't say a word. He just headbutted Brock Lesnar, and they just started wailing on each other. And it was crazy. The whole roster had to come out. Yes, I know it was similarities to Undertaker and Brock Lesnar as well, because the whole roster had to come out, break apart. But yeah, it was interesting to see there. Yeah, the fact that happened, and now Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe, they're going head on heels over each other. We don't know what the hell's going to happen next week. I don't think Brock Lesnar's advertised for next week, but it's just built up for Great Balls of Fire. That pay-per-view name, though. For Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe for the Universal title. It's going to be an interesting match. But in terms of segment, great opening to Raw. Again, always good to see Brock Lesnar back, and I'm glad Brock Lesnar is this way. He only appears when needed because, again, it makes the Universal title more important than what it already. I'm glad Brock Lesnar has the Universal title right now. It makes it more important. The fact that superstars in Raw fight, just even have an opportunity to face Brock Lesnar, just again, shows important because he has the title that everybody wants, the Universal title, and he will only appear when the deem's ready, just for them to have a chance to have a shot at the title. So I just find it interesting and cool. So yeah, looking forward to the match again. I think a lot of people look forward to it. I don't know one person who's not looking forward to their match at Great Balls of Fire. Brock Lesnar probably is going to win, but hell, it's going to be. People think it's going to be a squash match. I don't think it is. It's going to be something for the ages. But again, great segment. Paul Heyman is always the best. Those two brought again. I don't know what's going to be happening in coming weeks because yeah, Great Balls of Fire. It's going to be interesting. Moving on from that, we had Elias Sampson versus Dean Ambrose. Yeah, basically it was it was supposed to happen originally last week, but Dean Ambrose didn't care about the match. He just beat up Elias Sampson. He won the mid, but Elias Sampson did get the upper hand on him at the end of the match. So this was actually an official match between the two. Basically, it was back and forth. Miz eventually came out and decided to distract Ambrose, which he did get his hands on the Miz and be able to take him out. But the referee was about to count 10 because, again, if you get count out to 10, you lose the match. Ambrose tripped and then got in the ring, which allowed Elias Sampson to capitalize, and he was able to pin Dean Ambrose 1, 2, 3. Miz, obviously. So, yeah, it was because of him that he was able to do it. So, Elias Sampson, again, he's been built strong. He's really been built strong over the past Elias Sampson really has been built strong ever since he made his main roster debut after Superstar Shakeup. He really has. He has yet to actually lose a match. Sure, he's been beat up by Dean Ambrose a couple times, but at the end, he's been looked down over Dean Ambrose. I would like to think this will eventually lead to Elias Sampson versus Dean Ambrose feud. I think Dean Ambrose realized Elias Sampson is a thorn in his side. I feel it was going to happen. If even though the match is not official, I feel like Dean Ambrose faced the Miz one more time. Okay, he is obligated to a rematch to the Intercontinental title at Great Balls of Fire, and Elias Sampson will be involved, which will cost Dean Ambrose the Intercontinental title, which will then make them feud. Probably going to be at SummerSlam more than likely, which will be interesting. I mean, again, he wasn't treated like this in NXT. They're making him treat like a big deal because he has like a legit heel heat. The fans hate him, and he can draw heat, so he can potentially be a top player on Raw. And it'll be interesting to see. Maybe Dean Ambrose can bring the best out. Only time will tell. I can tell you that. But overall, it was a fine segment. Again, continued storyline between Dean Ambrose and The Miz. Hopefully, eventually they'll announce the match at Great Balls of Fire because Dean Ambrose is entitled to his rematch. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Cruiserweight action. Cruiserweights. Again, I don't have an issue. My thing is this. Basically, both cruiserweight segments, wasn't really, I want to call this a match because it really wasn't a match. I have no issue if cruiserweights just had the promos on Raw and the stuff carried 205 Live, but just again, as I was talking about last week with Ron, their longest term storyline on 205 Live is the whole situation with freaking Alicia Fox. I am glad with the fact that Cedric Alexander's been put back, because the whole reason why this feud started is because of Cedric Alexander. I feel like this feud was supposed to end a while ago had Cedric Alexander not been injured. So I'm glad he's back. So maybe this will finally be put in. I will hope by SummerSlam. If this goes past SummerSlam, I'm officially done. This has been the longest feud in 205 Live. And that says a lot. This is like your long-term feud in 205 Live. Cedric Alexander with Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. This whole feud has been going on forever. But basically, Cedric Alexander was facing Noam Dar. Cedric Alexander kept telling him, like, yo, it's over. I want this to be done. Like, I just want it to be done between both of them. I'm through with this. Noam Dar's come out in the ring with Alicia Fox on FaceTime, and you can see Alicia Fox because she's suffering from a neck injury, so she won't be there. And Alicia Fox saying, hey, you better not know Noam Dar. Noam Dar was trying to get ready for the match. Alicia Fox was ahead. They kept talking until the bell rang, and Cedric Alexander just waited for him, and he hit his finisher. I forgot what it was called. Give me 1 second. He hit the what was it? What the hell was it called? Unfortunately, no, couldn't get hit. The lumbar check, that was what's called. He hit him with the lumbar check as soon as he turned around after the bell hit 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Like, yeah, that was something else. It was the lumbar check. 1, 2, 3 was over. Noam Dar was out. And then, yeah, this carried over to 205 Live. But my whole thing is, again, the cruiserweights are fine. Nothing is wrong with the cruiserweight. It's just the storylines that need to be there. There's some good storylines 205 Live. Again, the whole Drew Gulak and Mustafa Ali thing, it turned out to be better than what probably most people thought. And it's going to come to head this next week, which I'll talk more about in 205 Live. But it's going to come to head next week. So it's going to be interesting. Again, there's some good storylines there, and now this interesting feud with Neville as well, which I will talk about a little later. Again, the storylines are there, and then again, TJ Perkins versus there's a bunch of stuff that's happening. It's damning that they put so much time, and again, where the hell's Grand Metal League? But that's besides the point. They put so much time into this storyline. This storyline has been going on since the exception of 205 Live. That speaks volumes. 205 Live came out in November, December, January, March, April, May, June. 7 months. 7 months. We have officially, as I told Ron this, we have officially reached the whole Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens thing started in August, and it finally ended this past April. Or May, April. I'll say April. So let's say from August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. It's been going. That whole Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens thing was 9 months. It was the best story told. That was the main Raw storyline. Probably the best story. That was probably the best storyline in the lead up to WrestleMania. So the fact that this is almost we're 2 months away from reaching the same storytelling with Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho is mind-boggling. And as I said before. I said Raswan Noam Dar, or I said Kurzar by Kendrick. This better just lead into a number one contenders match for the cruiserweight title. At least have some meaning in it. I'll go more into it with 205 Live. I'm not gonna say long. I'm not gonna put that long time into this. Basically, it was just a one-shot match. I'm just gonna go on a rant. So yeah. Let's just move on. We had Seth Rollins confronting Bray Wyatt. So basically, Bray Wyatt came out because last week, Seth Rollins faced Samoa Joe. What happened was that Seth Rollins appeared to have about to win the match, but that did not happen because was that really last week? Goddamn, time flies. Bray Wyatt, his music just appeared and it distracted Seth Rollins and was able to win the match. So Bray Wyatt basically explained why he did that, and I'm trying to understand this too because it's kind of confusing. So give me a second. Send the notes here. December. Oh, of course, Blasphemous Architect. But basically, all because Bray Wyatt, he was offended by what Seth Rollins said to him, so he distracted him. He said he was a false god. And then Seth Rollins came out. He was saying that again. You was just mad because I just called you just a few names. Yeah. Bray Wyatt then said that he does not want to go any further down this road than he already had. And he gave Seth all due respect for saying king but a god he claimed is a little beyond his reach. as if to demonstrate Neither World disappeared, and he reappeared at a Titantron, giving Rollins his signature piece of Time Horn Vice run. I like this feud could be very interesting. What is the? It's weird how it started. It all started just because Seth Rollins just called him out. I mean, it all depends on where they go with this. There's a bunch of ways they could go with this. Basically, this whole feud it started solely because Seth Rollins believed Bray Wyatt. Basically, you see, there's a bunch of ways you can go about doing this. A good way, like again, kayfabe wise, Bray Wyatt has simply just been all talk. But every time he talks, he gets put down with his words, and he always loses match. I'm not saying, which is again kind of a rib to him, but it's like there's a bunch of ways like you can make this storyline actually personal. Seth Rollins, you call him out your BS, you preach all this stuff, Sister Abigail, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, you always lose. Now this could be a feud. Seth Rollins can afford to lose this feud. Because he has nothing going on at the moment. He can afford to lose this feud because Bray Wyatt needs this a little bit more than he does. So he could just say you're just all talk. All you do is preach about Sister Abigail. Either world's your God, blah, blah, blah. You always lose. And again, Bray Wyatt could get irritated and then just again go down this dark path. So this could bring out probably a darker side to Bray Wyatt just to prove the point that no, I am not all talk. I am the Eater of World. I am God himself. Bray Wyatt like again, this feud could be so much more interesting. I hope Davey takes that route. If next week, I would like Seth Rollins next week to say again, all he does is bring up like again the elephant in the room that again all the fans today we know. Bray Wyatt, all he does is really talk. He could talk good. Again, probably best promo talker ever. He just never backs up. He always loses. Insert that into the feud. I guarantee you get a little bit more interesting. Because right now, the way it just started, just because, again, he just called him out of his name. Just, again, bring up why he called him out of his name, because you're just all talk. I hope they do that next week, and then this feud will start to get interesting. I'm telling you. It will start to get interesting if they incorporate that to Seth Rollins. And this is a feud I have no problem with Seth Rollins losing. Because, again, this is fantasy booking. When I think about it, there's rumors that the Hardys are playing split. So, Bray Wyatt could feud with Matt Hardy, broken Matt Hardy, and Jeff Hardy, because they plan on pushing him. I don't know whether as a heel or face. They could feud with Seth. Imagine Seth Rollins versus Jeff Hardy. Just imagine that for a second, guys. Exactly. You can imagine it yourself. So let this feud go on, and we will see where it goes from here. Or Seth Rollins can feud with Samoa Joe after Brock Lesnar. Who knows? It's just we don't know where this can go. We could just have to wait and see. But again, for at least this feud right now, what they could do is again let Seth Rollins say, "Hey, you're full of crap. You always talk crap, and you never back it up." And make that push Bray Wyatt into further to darkness. And let him come out and feud on top. I guarantee I'll build momentum to whatever you plan on Bray Wyatt. And keep Bray Wyatt strong. Seth Rollins is good. He's one of the top baby faces on Raw. So this would be, it doesn't matter what happens. So there's that. Then you have Apollo Crews versus Kalisto. Again, a rematch from Extreme Rules, a kickoff show from Extreme Rules. The main thing here to point out is that Titus Snow, he's trying to recruit Akira Tozawa into the Titus brand. First off, I want to point out what's happening with the cruiserweights. They want, I guess, what they're trying to do to cruiserweight have again. Apparently, 205 live views are lowered on the network. It's whatever. It's whatever. So they're trying to incorporate their Raw stars into the show. Sasha Banks appeared. I'm going along with the feud with Noam Dar and Alicia Fox and whatnot, and Rich Swann. Before Cyrus got inserted back into it. So now they're seeing the title. No, it's a weird one, but it could very well be interesting. I'll say the least. Basically, Apollo Crews did beat Kalisto. Again, the main two superstars weren't really important. The main people here were really Tyson and Akira Tozawa outside the ring, because Akira Tozawa had front row seats in the crowd, which doesn't make any sense. You work here, Akira. You don't have to be in the crowd to watch the match. Once Apollo Crews run, Tyson brought Akira Tozawa in the ring, and they was just celebrating. It was funny. I will give it that. And again, it gives Akira Tozawa something. This actually leads into a segment later in the show. But again, I like when it's continuity and storylines especially with the cruiserweight. So this actually leads into something major, a major thing involving cruiserweights later on in the show. So overall, this was fine. The match itself was whatever because again, the main focus was on Tyson Hill and Kira Tozawa. So yeah, the match itself was just whatever. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what will happen between Apollo Crews and Kalisto as well, because again, I don't know what the hell is leading Apollo Crews. It seems like Tyson was more forced on Kira. Maybe Apollo Crews might get jealous and just turns back on Tyson Hill. Maybe this might like turn heel. Kalisto, I don't know, former tag team Apollo Crews and Kalisto. Who knows? It's just something worth to say. And then we have Alexa Bliss and what you call it? Alexa Bliss coming out saying, yeah, she had to do a Nia Jax. I don't know why she had to do a Nia Jax. The superstar, the women on Smackdown are doing important stuff like the women's Money in the Bank. She shouldn't be able to deal with this. And Nia Jax came out. She said, you, like, again, we're supposed to be friends, but you kind of cheated me there. She's like, whoa, calm down. Mickey James and Dan Brooke came out as well saying that, hey, we were just using your pawns just to make sure Nia Jax doesn't win. Emma made her return because she was injured, saying again, all the folks should be back on me since I'm back. And then Sasha Banks came back because, yes, you sometimes forget Sasha Banks actually exists, saying again, Alexa got herself in a situation and she punched her in the face. They brought, and this led to a 6-women's tag match. I forgot who won. Who won? Oh, Sasha Banks got the win over Emma, returning Emma by putting in the bank statement. Again, the main thing here is Alexa Bliss actually ditched Emma because Emma was trying to tag Alexa Bliss. She left, so she said, screw her, essentially. So that was funny, I guess. So hold on, I'm trying to see something here. Yeah, that was interesting to say at least. So again, all the women are looking at Alexa. I feel like this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What can they do? They can do a 6-pack challenge, but they already did it on SmackDown. What can they possibly? What can they? They could do a gauntlet match for the women's title. Like Alexa Bliss had to run the gauntlet. Like she had to go do all of it. That will really imagine how that builds Alexa Bliss if they do a gauntlet match for the women's title, and she's the first competitor. She somehow weasel her way through the whole gauntlet and still retain. Like, imagine how much heat that would bring Alexa Bliss. Just imagine. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with her after the fact, but yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with Alexa Bliss. The title picture is interim. Right now, we have no contender for Great Balls of Fire for Alexa Bliss, so I can only imagine being a triple threat between Alexa, Nia, and Sasha. And Bayley come out, maybe a heel turn from Bayley. I don't know. There's a bunch of factors that go into it. I have no idea. However, Bayley, speaking of Bayley, she did we finally heard from her. I thought she didn't exist. And the route that they did with this is a weird one. Bayley was basically saying when it came down, she couldn't get extreme because her goal is to not hurt people. She wants to wrestle them. She not physically really hurt them, just to wrestle and just show that she's the best. Her goal is not to hurt people, so she hopes through the way she wants to do it. Basically, she sounds like fucking John Cena in this promo backstage with Corey Graves at the sit-down interview. She basically she wants to just show the kids and her fans that, again, you can do it through the right way and just win and be the best. It was weird. And then at the end, she just asked Corey to give her a hug, and it was just, again, just so weird. I don't know what this is leading. I don't know, this is all swerve. It's going to turn Bayley Hill anyway. Say, fuck it, just turn Bayley Hill. And yeah, I mean, this it was a weird one to say the least. I'll tell you that. One of the weird Bayley promos, but yeah, interesting to see where this goes. Again, I doubt Bayley's gonna be part of the title picture at Great Balls of Fire. I feel like it's gonna either be Nia Jax or Sasha Banks, or probably both. Who knows? Bayley will be involved somehow. Might either turn heel or Sasha Banks might turn heel. A bunch of factors. I'm glad to see Bayley back because she wasn't there at all for Raw for the past 2 weeks. So that was something else. I would say that. Yeah. So in terms of that, overall, the women's segment was fine. All right. It brought all the women. Again, there's only one female superstar they've yet to show. Summer Rae. Summer Rae's been on the Raw roster ever since the brand split last year, and she just appeared. So it's like, and that says a lot. And Paige is rumored to return too. So who knows? There's a bunch of stuff that's going on. I guess we'll find out. Actually, quick thing: what the hell happened with Summer Rae? She has yet to actually appear. Did she get injured or something? I have no idea. Infused, yeah. She drafted the Raw brand, however, she's not been until since her draft due to injuries. Gotcha. She's still injured. I have no idea. I thought she was. Clear to return, but apparently not. Then we move on to Heath Slater Rhino versus The Miz and a mystery partner. So backstory on this. Basically, Miz was again kind of suspicious that Dean Ambrose might do something again, so he went backstage to look for some help. Heath Slater and Rhino was there, and he was trying to tell Heath Slater, not really talking around more, Heath Slater how he could give him an opportunity if he just joined forces with him. Heath Slater says, no, what I do want is the Intercontinental title. We know that might lead into something. And Miz got mad, and Rhino was irritated that he got ignored, so he said, hey, we're going to tell Kurt Angle we want a tag team match with you. Better find a partner. So Heath Slater and Rhino versus The Miz. Miz had no idea who the partner was. And then the Bear. A bear came out. The bear that was part of Miz's show last time. Miz probably thought that was Dean Ambrose. Again, because he was too tall. Actually be Dean Ambrose. During the match, the bear actually did a bear hug, and Michael Cole was just like jerking off to that. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, I'll tell you that. He was kind of jerking off to that one. The bear eventually got pummeled by Rhino. He re-tagged in The Miz. The Miz says, screw this. He attacked the bear. He thought, because he really personally thought it was the Emperor, took it off to the village. It wasn't the Emperor, just some local jobber. He put the thing back on. He tried to focus on the match. What we did not see is that people got switched. Then the bear came in. He did a dirty deeds to Heath Slater. And then Miz instantly knew right there, oh shit. And then the bear took off the mask. And this time it was actually Dean Ambrose. He was able to hit dirty deeds on the Miz. And then he grabbed Heath Slater, put him over him. 1, 2, 3. Heath Slater pinned the Intercontinental Champion. Thanks to Dean Ambrose. Again, I love continuity when it happens during the show. So Dean Ambrose got his revenge on the Miz since Miz screwed him over earlier in the night in the match against Elias Sampson. So Heath Slater and Rhino picked up the victory. I doubt they're going to split up Heath Slater and Rhino because, I mean, Heath Slater made his intentions clear that he wants a shot at the Intercontinental title. Well, they actually put the Intercontinental title on him. Who actually knows? It's interesting to see. Obviously, again, the feud between Miz and Dean Ambrose is not over. Dean Ambrose can evoke his rematch call. I'd like to think he'll evoke it next week because Great Ball Fire is coming up. Maybe they was just waiting for the Smackdown main pay-per-view to end so the focus could be back on Raw in terms of their pay-per-view. So that's probably what they're going to do. It's probably going to be a Great Ball Fire, Miz versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title since Dean Ambrose can put his rematch clause back on. So it's just a matter of just waiting to see what's going to happen. Then we move on back to Cruiserweight. Neville versus originally supposed to be versus Swan. The match never actually happened because Neville just attacked for Swan. He just beat the hell out of him. The match again never happened. He put him in the rings of Saturn, and he just made him tap. And yeah, basically he was saying how again Austin Aries is gone. I mean, Austin Aries done, TJP done, and Aries versus Swan done. He has literally went through everybody in the Cruiserweight division that was deemed worthy of facing him. And that is correct. Ever since Neville came back in December, part of the Cruiserweight division, he has been dominant. Nobody has beaten him for the Cruiserweight title. I should be clarifying my words there. Nobody could beat him. Who stepped up to him? Rich Swann, he's the one who lost the title. Jack Gallagher lost. Austin Aries, 3 on 3 different occasions. Even though the third one was the only real one, he lost. TJP lost. Everybody who stepped up to him lost against him. He felt like there is nobody else in the division. However, he did say Akira Tozawa, because of Titus O'Neil talking about him, bad about him in a tweet saying he would be your next cruiserweight champion. Now he has his focus on him. This led into 205 Live. But basically, Neville's right. There's who the hell is going to beat Neville for the cruiserweight title? Who's actually set up to him? Akira Tozawa is that next person. I wish this was like Grand Metalik would have came out and said, "Hey, I can beat you." Neville versus Grand Metalik. That would have been interesting. But yeah, I don't know who does act. But a personal question: who can actually take the belt off of Neville? I personally think maybe if Aleister Black ever gets called to the main roster, he get called up to the cruiserweight division and actually take it from Neville. It'll make sense because he was the first person to fight Neville in the UK. I mean, he fought him in the UK tournament, that special match, that impromptu match, exhibition match, I should say. It makes sense. I mean, I don't know. It's just at least see. I mean, besides Aleister Black, and again, Grand Metalik never actually fought him. Who are people? The only people that actually yet to actually fight him? Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick. You actually never fought him 1-on-1. Brian Kendrick and Grand Metalik and Noam Dar. Those are the people who have never actually fought in the Evo 1-on-1. So those are the only three people left that are not involved with him whatsoever. And Tony Nese and Drew Gulak. But again, in terms of the other three people I just said, those are the people that probably have a chance against Neville. So we'll find out. But Akira Tozawa, yeah, that is an interesting choice. I would love to see where that actually goes. Akira Tozawa, he could be an interesting threat to Neville. So we will have to wait and see if it actually works. We'll find out. Now we move on to, again, the Enzo Amore and Cass scandal, or how should I call it? The Enzo gate or whatever, because we have no idea who the hell is attacking Enzo and Cass now, both of them. Basically, what happened this week, Cass got attacked again right before the match between Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. So, but this time, Cass said, "No, I'm fine. Let's do this match anyway. I'm good, so let's just do the match." And they actually had the match, and Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson beat them because, again, Big Cass is actually injured. Again, the one thing I like to point out, when Cass and got injured, when Big Cass got attacked again, the Revival was conveniently in the background. We don't know if that was the reason. I don't know if it was because the Revival actually attacked him. We really legit have no idea. But basically, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson did beat Enzo and Cass, and then afterwards, Big Show came out and tried to even the odds a little bit, I should say, against Enzo and Cass, and yeah, that didn't actually work because Luke Gallows Carson was able to get out, and that happened. So Big Show helped Enzo up, and Cass noticed that. So backstage, Enzo went up to Big Show saying, "Hey, again, you're the only other tall guy here that could probably have a chance to take him out in one shot." And Big Show said, "No, I did not beat up Enzo. I did not beat up Big Cass. And again, your partner is soft." Big Cass think it probably was Big Show. However, I still think this is all a swerve. It's going to be Big Cass. It's going to be Big Cass. It's going to eventually, because he's just doing this to himself just to get the ploy off of himself, to think he didn't attack Enzo. I don't think it's Revival. If it's Revival, it's like Davies not that stupid. Why even mention? If it was Revival, there would have been no mention of the Revival in the storyline whatsoever. It's not there. I don't think it was the Revival. If it is Terry Revival, it's kind of stupid because, again, why even put up that suspect to begin with? That was you never reveal who it actually is, because when it comes to the person, when it's revealed who that, if it is that person you already revealed them before, it's not as big as someone who have no idea who it is. That's why it can't be the Revival, because we know they're part. Because then we already knew they were a part of it. They should have never been shown then. That's the issue. So it's like, if it is the Revival, it's going to be kind of a letdown. It'll be nice. It turns right into a feud with Enzo and Cass. We already seen that before in NXT. And plus, again, it won't be as big as it should have been had they not shown a Revival at all. I personally think it's actually Big Cass. They're going to make Enzo and Cass split, and they're going to go from there. Big Cass probably be a big time heel. Enzo can do whatever. and we'll see what happens there. I still in that lost hope, still think it's Finn Balor because conveniently enough, this is the second time Luke Gallows Garrison are facing them, not just because. And Finn Balor has not appeared on Raw for the past 2 weeks. Interesting, to say the least. And interesting enough, for those 2 weeks, Big Cass who got attacked. I wouldn't be surprised if Balor told Gallows Anderson to attack him just to leave Enzo Amore out. They probably weren't expecting Big Show to get involved. This is just fantasy booking, just to form Balor Club, as always, as Ron would like to say. This is just me fantasy booking. But hey, I can wish, right? I can wish. But yeah, I personally, at the end of the day, I do think it's Big Cass. It's probably definitely is him. And yeah, I will like to think that it'll probably all go to head at Great Balls of Fire. It's gonna be just revealed that hey, it was me, Austin, it was me all along. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, I was just reading something. My bad, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I still think it's Big Cass. Moving on to the main event. Now, the main event was actually 2 out of 3 falls match between Cesaro and Sheamus and the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys invoked their rematch clause from Extreme Rules because technically they never lost the match. Again, I love how this story is built. Basically, but you don't really. Let me just get over the match. Basically, Cesaro and Sheamus got the first fall. Then Hardy got the second fall. The match has ended in a no contest or double count, I should say, because both people were out. But at the end, the Hardys were able to just like take out Cesaro and Sheamus. They ran. Cesaro and Sheamus still champions, but the Hardys, so that again, they're not done with Enzo. I'm about to say Enzo. Cesaro and Sheamus. What I like most about this is that, again, despite them being tag team champions, Cesaro and Sheamus has never actually beaten the Hardys. Yes, in terms of results, they did beat the Hardys at Extreme Rules, and they still retained the titles tonight on Raw. But let's just think about it in the grand scope thing. At Extreme Rules, it was a steel cage match. The stipulation was both members of the team had to be out at the same time. Technically, the Hardys technically won that match had Jeff Hardy not re-entered himself back in the ring, because the whole point was both members had to be out at the same exact time. But had Jeff Hardy just stayed out there, and Matt Hardy would have went out, the Hardys would retain. But since Jeff Hardy had got out of the ring, Matt Hardy had to pull him out just to make sure he was out there as well. But since that didn't happen, Cesaro and Sheamus was crown champion. Same thing happened on Raw. 2 out of 3 falls. It was double count out. Technically, Hardys never lost. They have yet to actually successfully beat the Hardys via pinfall or submission. So we have to have a definitive win in terms of Cesaro and Sheamus beating the Hardys. I like how that story's built. Because if they do have a match one more time at Great Balls of Fire and they actually beat them, that'll be so much more bigger for them. It'll say that, hey, we actually did what people thought is that we have yet to do. It actually beat the Hardy Boys. So I would love to see where this actually goes. And because the interview that happened with Corey Graves right after the show, where I heard Jeff Hardy said the broke gimmick will be coming soon. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of when. So the broken gimmick will be coming soon. I like to think it's going to happen before SummerSlam. They probably go with the broken gimmick around during SummerSlam time. So it's probably going to happen right before SummerSlam. Probably, again, this is all coming out at Great Balls of Fire. The pay-per-view is much more bigger than probably people think it actually is. So, yeah, that is actually Raw. Raw was a good show. Again, probably not a lot happened on this Raw because, again, they probably want to focus on SmackDown because SmackDown pay-per-views this week. So a bunch of stuff did have. Brock Lesnar did appear. They had a Raw. The further development between Elias Sampson and Dean Ambrose submitted that whole thing happening there. Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar. I'll get more into it if I lied. The start of the Bray Wyatt Seth Rollins feud. Akira Tozawa being part of the Titus brand, which is also in continuity with the Neville. Sasha Banks reasserting herself back in the Raw Women's title picture. Yeah, and then Heath Slater potentially getting involved into the Intercontinental title picture. We still don't know who the hell tagged Enzo and Cass, but the exhibitions now lead the Big Show thanks to Cass, and how Cesaro and Sheamus retained their titles, but how exactly it was really the result that was definitive enough to prove that they can actually beat the Hardys. A lot of stuff happened on Raw, but I guarantee the main, like, a lot of stuff will be further developed next week. Or probably more matches will be announced at Great Balls of Fire. I'll probably start with that Roman Reigns announcement, which I personally think is just here's how I think it's gonna play out. So here's my prediction for Raw. I think Roman Reigns is going to come out and say he wants the Universal title match at SummerSlam. I think that's going to happen. Braun Strowman is going to return. He's going to say, I'm not finished with you. And Cornelius going to announce that Great Balls of Fire to be Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns one more time. And this time, whoever wins becomes the number one contender for the Universal title at SummerSlam. That's what's going to happen on Raw. I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen on Raw. But that's Raw, guys. We're going to go to SmackDown after this little short break. I'm just going to go and do something real quick, and we'll be right, probably like less than 2 minutes, and we'll be back with SmackDown, reviewing SmackDown. So I'll be right back, guys. Quick break, just all right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just wanted to take a 1-2 minute break, check my phone. It wasn't near me. It was currently charging. Just for future reference, I will only like take a break like that only when Ron's not here, because again, since he's not here, I can just rest my voice for a second. Because it's really just me talking just to myself the whole time, basically. So I do apologize for that, guys. But I'll only do this type of thing when Ron's not here. Because Ron's here, we just go back and forth without really an issue. So yeah, we'll just go on SmackDown right now. SmackDown actually took place in New Orleans, the home for WrestleMania 30 and the home for WrestleMania 34. I think we're on 34. We just did 33, right? Yeah, 34. So yeah, the reason why I forget what WrestleMania is because they stopped doing the numerals, like the number. They stopped numbering WrestleMania. So yeah, it's confusing sometimes. We open up the show with interesting way. The New Day comes out with the Jazz team, so that was interesting to say the least. It was good. The way the music played, I actually loved their remix to the New Day, so that was pretty awesome. And they were saying how again they're gonna they already became the longest Raw Tag Team Champions, which was just essentially WWE Tag Title. Now they become the longest reigning SmackDown Tag Champions. The Usos came out and said, no, again, this is all jokes. This is actually serious. So when we get serious at Money in the Bank, we're going to win and retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Breezango came out and they were saying how, That's not going to happen. They think the Usos going to win. They're still not finished with them. The Colognes came out. They said a few words too, and this led into a 8-person tag with the New Day versus with the New Day and Breezango versus the Usos and the Colognes. Overall, I thought it was a good opening segment because, again, it's rare that we see a tag team see the tag team division actually open up a show. And again, Smackdown always take interesting risks. I will say that. So, yeah, that was very interesting indeed, to say the least. So, very nice opening. Again, I love the music from, again, New Orleans is there about celebrating everything. So, very nice opening segment. Now we got on to the match itself, which was the New Day and Breezango versus Usos and Colognes. It was very, very long. It was actually a pretty long and decent match. I will definitely say that. Everybody got enough time, and it was a very long-paced match. I think it was a match of the night, in my opinion. I mean, hell, the opening match was just very interesting, very nice paced. Kofi was actually part of the match, so I guess he's fully healed up to go. So my suspicions were going when I just thought it was going to be Big E, Xavier Woods until Kofi got healed. So Kofi's actually ready to go. It was very good. Everybody got a lot of stuff in. That nasty spot when Fandango was trying to clothesline, I forgot which Uso it was. Really can't tell them apart. And then since Uso really get over the ring, he just like a recoil or like a wish blast. I don't know how to say it. But he bounced right back to the ring. Then he fell out. It was kind of nasty. But at the end, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods from New Day were pick up the win for their team with Breezango, thanks to their aerial like double stop. Xavier did like a double stop while Kofi was holding. I think it was Primo holding Primo down, and that was nasty. It was a nasty one. But he was able to pin 1, 2, 3. This is just building momentum for the New Day for this Sunday, when at Money in the Bank, the Usos will defend the SmackDown tag team titles against the New Day. So very nice opening segment. I'll definitely say that. Moving on to Mojo Rawley. He was talking backstage, and he was saying how, yes, he had the opportunity to fight Jinder Mahal and actually beat him to qualify for a Money in the Bank match. Sad he didn't do it. Now he's just happy that Shane McMahon gave him the opportunity. And, yeah. And that was that. Or so we thought. Zack Ryder, he returned. And he said, yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back from injury. And he said, I'm glad now we just had some unfinished business in terms of SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. Because in case you guys actually forgot, before Zack Ryder got injured, they actually won a battle royal to become number one contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. But he got injured right after they won the match. So now since Zack Ryder back, you can only think maybe they technically have a talk of becoming have a shot at Live Tag Team titles. Since they were number one contender, they never actually got their shot. But I know a bunch has changed. Because Bray Wyatt predict those champions, which was the Wyatt family, they didn't even have. Bray Wyatt's not even on SmackDown anymore. He's on Raw. So I don't know how that works. Randy Orton's here, obviously, and Luke Harper's still here, but still, Bray Wyatt was technically the champion. Bray Wyatt was part of that team, and he was champion at that point. So we can only imagine, like, what does that mean? I don't know how that works in terms of, well, since that champion wasn't holding the title at this point, since he's not holding anymore, he said he's going to get a shot. It's hard to say, but it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But we do know at the kickoff show, this was announced a couple days later, kickoff show, the Hype Bros will have their first return match on the kickoff show against the Colognes. So it'll be definitely interesting to say the least, I would say. So we can only assume what's going to happen there, and probably the Hype Bros are going to win, or they could perhaps swerve. Zack Ryder might turn heel. They say, hey, man, you backstabbed me. Zack Ryder might turn heel. I can't see Mojo Rawley going back in the tag team division if you already went to Andre Giant Warrior Battle Royal. I would like to think that the Andre Giant Warrior Battle Royal means a little bit more than that, because, again, Baron Corbin won it last year. Look where he is now. He was part of WrestleMania with the Intercontinental title match. Like, he was the main star one of the main stars on SmackDown. So I like to think the Andre Giant Warrior Battle Royal means a little bit more than that. They'll push Mojo Rawley as a single star. They don't need Zack Ryder can do fine by himself as well. Like, they don't need the Hype Bros back, but we'll see what happens in Money in the Bank. Yeah. Naomi versus Tamina, that happened. So basically Naomi fought Tamina because of the result that happened the previous week. Thanks to Lana and Tamina was able to actually beat Naomi. So just kind of like a, and that 6-person tag is kind of like a continuation of that. This time Naomi was able to pick up the win. However, Lana came out during the match. She tried to strike Naomi, that didn't work. So Naomi actually won the match, but then Lana actually attacked Naomi afterwards, and she hit this devastating sit down. Like she hit this devastating sit down power bomb or power slam. I don't know what you like to call it. Sit down spine buster. I have no idea. But that was deadly. That looked awesome, actually. Again, this is just leading up to this Sunday for the Smackdown Women's title when Naomi will defend her Smackdown Women's title against Lana. People don't think Lana's actually going to do it. It's going to be interesting. I'll give my predictions when we get to our predictions part for Money in the Bank. So, yeah, very interesting segment indeed. Then Jinder Mahal came out. It was supposed to be a face-to-face with him and Randy Orton. And yes, Jinder Mahal is still WWE champion for people who are still like was sleeping or something for a couple of days. Jinder Mahal is still WWE champion. We will still live in this world. This is about how Randy Orton's a coward. He's going to embarrass him in front of his family, especially his father, which for some weird reason was rumored that he died this week, but that's whatever. Like in front of all these legends, he's going to show that he is just not like people shouldn't be like ignoring him and whatever. Randy Orton's music hit. He sent the Sign Brothers to try to like prevent Randy Orton from coming from the entrance ramp, but that didn't matter because Randy actually came to the back, hit RKO out of nowhere. And he was able to just RKO the champion. If he able to hit it again on Sunday, who knows? In his hometown, St. Louis, Missouri. So you'll like to think that he might not win, but I'll give my predictions later on the show. Overall, it was interesting. Again, Jinder Mahal. I'm a Jinder Mahal mark now, in case you guys don't know. So he's definitely improved. So you can't say he's not as he was like a couple months ago. He has definitely improved ever since he became WWE champion. Yes, that is a sentence that is actually factual. So yeah, it was definitely interesting indeed, to say the least. So he definitely improved. So I'd like to see, but he's actually like a legit main eventer. He is very popular. Have you seen the YouTube views on all of his videos? All of his YouTube videos, like this is like a quick, like I'm going way off basis here. I just want to prove a point here. I can just quickly go to a WWE video on YouTube and go to Jinder Mahal. Like when Jinder Mahal was on Smackdown, his segment was 1 million views. That's my point. His stuff, like people want to watch Jinder Mahal because he's WWE champion, and it's fucking crazy to even think that. Like again, well, his shit with Mojo Rawley, nobody gave a shit about. But again, when it involves Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, that is, people want to see that shit for some reason. And hey, it's the shoe fits, I guess. I mean, yeah, people actually want to see that shit. So, yeah, and I'm trying to go back to the previous week too, when he actually his first night as champion. I think that his parade thing actually worked out. Where's Jinder Mahal? Jinder Mahal. He was. I know for a fact he was there. You can't tell me he was not there. You're gonna tell me he was not there. Okay. Oh yeah, he wasn't. He really wasn't. So what was the main? I'm going way off. The million view thing right there for them was the New Day, and they returned. Yeah, his celebration got 3 million views. So again, back to my point. The point is, what you call it? He gets a bunch of, like, he really does get a bunch of views. So yeah, Jinder Mahal is a big deal now. So it's gonna be an interesting sight to see at Money in the Bank if he retains. Sadly, I don't think this whole fantasy thing is gonna be happening anytime like later, because John Cena's coming back, and you know what that means. The shuffle. Now I move on to Charlotte versus Natalya. Not too much to say here. Charlotte got the win. This is just again, building momentum to that women's Money in the Bank. Where at Money in the Bank, the women's first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Charlotte, Natalia, Becky, Tamina, and Carmella will have fight for the opportunity to win the briefcase, which will allow them to cash in on the women's champion a time within the year. So very interesting indeed, to say the least. And the main event was with Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, same thing, which had a very funny segment, I should say, backstage. Versus the United States champion Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin in a 6-man tag with all Money in the Bank components, because all 6 of these men will face each other at Money in the Bank in a Money in the Bank ladder match. So yeah, very interesting match. I wouldn't say the match tonight. I still think the opening tag match was actually good. This match is perfectly fine as well. Same thing again. Shockingly got the win. But the whole purpose of the match is just, again, built that one final building Money in the Bank. Baron Corbin took him out. Kevin Owens, Corbin, and Ziggler all had issues of it. Corbin took out all 3 of them, I believe. Styles tried to get in. That didn't happen. Corbin was trying to climb the ladder, just get the briefcase. Nakamura came. He hit him with the King Salsa. Nakamura climbed the ladder, and he retrieved the briefcase. Just pretty much just a sign. Just again, build momentum. Okay, Money in the Bank. It will be the Money in the Bank ladder match, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler, 6 of the top superstars of SmackDown, will bow out just to win a briefcase that will allow them to have a championship opportunity against whoever is the WWE champion within the year. Very nice ending to Raw, but with Nakamura holding a briefcase, his chances of actually winning the title are very slim, because we all know people who have the most momentum going in are usually not the ones that are actually going to win the match. So we'll see what actually happens there. Just checking. Hold on. More for greatness. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. That was SmackDown. It was a good show indeed. And then move on to a Fight Live. First things first. Again, I'm gonna get on a rant with this. Second, I was in versus Avaria Davari. Again, Noam Dar came out with Alicia Fox on FaceTime. That didn't distract Alexander at all, because he was able to still hit him with the lumbar check. And 1, 2, 3, Avaria Davari. Noam Dar, he tried to get in the ring. Darren took him out, and then he grabbed the phone and he canceled the call from the FaceTime from Alicia Fox. The match is fine. I just want to. Then I go on a little rant on this, so I had to get a drink. The cruiserweights are amazing busted talents. They are. Probably one of the best wrestlers in the world. Cruiserweight Classic even showed that. These are guys that will be stars in WWE. It's just how you book them. That's the issue. This feud, this storyline. It's not even a feud, it's a storyline, because there's a bunch of people involved. The main is damning that your longest. This is the best way to sum this up. Is that it's quite damning that your longest storyline on 205 Live is centered around. It's not even centered around a cruiserweight. It's centered around a girl, Alicia Fox. There's nothing. I'm not taking anything away from Alicia Fox. She's been here for 10 years. But if this is a show based on the cruiserweights, why is your most long-term storyline? The main focus point is the girl, not the cruiserweight, but the girl. And I mean, the constant in this storyline is also Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander. Chris Swan got thrown into it. And so did Sasha Banks. But these were the two constants. So the fact that Cedric Alexander is back in this feud is good, because maybe this will properly end. So the writers who ever wrote this story, who had the ending to it, could actually have the ending that he originally wanted, since Cedric Alexander's back. I just hope. It didn't have with Kyros's Hour. It actually did have with Kyros's Hour, technically, because it was just unannounced. Kyros's Hour did beat Brian Kendrick, and now look at him. It's not official. Neville seems to have his focus on Akira Tozawa now. So Tozawa, because of that long feud, actually got put into the Cruiserweight title picture. That's all I want from these storylines. They're all the cruiserweights are all fighting for one title, the cruiserweight title. So I would like to think these storylines will pay off somehow for them. I would like to think the long-term storyline that this has developed would actually allow them to become number one contender. I wanted to officially say it'll be Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar one more time. Because that's before this will be their final match. They're fine, like they will have to be done with each other after this. Because the winner of the match will become the number one contender for the Cruiserweight title at SummerSlam. So whoever is champion, either, I'm not saying it's official, Kyrgios or Zawa or Neville, but it seems like that's where it's going for at Great Balls of Fire. Because Michael did announce that Neville will defend the Cruiserweight title at the Great Balls of Fire. We just don't know who. I like thinking it's Akira Tozawa based on where this is going. But for these two, they should have a match, either at 205 Live or Great Balls of Fire. I don't care. Whoever wins the match will become the number one contender at SummerSlam. How big is that? This will actually make this storyline all worth it because whoever comes out this on top will have a shot at the Cruiserweight title at the biggest pay-per-view of the summer, SummerSlam. That right there, if this actually happens, I'll have no issue with that. This actually ends at Great Balls of Fire or any 205 Live before SummerSlam, and this actually means something, as in they'll get a shot at the Cruiserweight title, then this storyline was this whole 9-month thing actually was worth it. Otherwise, if these two just move on to whatever, it will just be ridiculous. It really will be. Like, it will be so freaking ridiculous. I would like to think Noam Dar deserves. I would like to think Noam Dar because he again put in the most of the cruiserweights. He put in the most work into this feud, so I would like to think he will get rewarded for this. Somehow making this go on for 7 months, get rewarded for at least have a cruiserweight title opportunity. I'm not saying he will win the actual cruiserweight title, but it'll give him at least an opportunity. He just to actually get an opportunity for the cruiserweight title. So with that being said, I would like again this storyline will have to come ahead somewhere. Hopefully at Great Balls of Fire, which is a number one contenders match along with the cruiserweight title match itself. There's a contenders match for the cruiserweight title. I like to think that's where it's going, but we won't know until later. Another interesting piece to happen on 205 Live is Austin Aries. Remember, Austin Aries did lose against Neville in the submission match at Extreme Rules, and he did post right after that he had to reevaluate himself. And I was kind of worried, did this mean that he was just going to leave the Cruiserweight division? And yeah. Basically, what Austin was saying, how again, he came in the Cruiserweight division for one thing, become Cruiserweight champion. He has 3 chances against Neville. He's not going to bitch and complain the fact that he actually did have Neville beat. He did make him tap out outside the ring, but that for some reason didn't count for some odd reason. I'm with Austin Aries there too, but he had 3 chances and he just came up to he's gonna be a man and move on. But however, because of the whole feud with Neville and TJP, he injured his he got injured. He had injuries sustained during these past from March all the way to now. From February all the way to now. No, March. I was right. March. From March all the way to now. So April, May, June. So for a good 3 months, he had the injuries he was dealing with against Neville and TJP. So because of that, he's gonna have to take he's not technically medically clear. We don't know how much time he's gonna be taken off. We don't know what his future holds. Before we can even elaborate even more further into this, Tony Nese came out. We haven't seen Tony Nese really in a while. So he was saying how, again, Austin Aries, all you do is crack jokes. Let's just let the real cruiserweight stars actually shine. Austin Aries says, you're nobody because the last time we actually fought each other, I beat you. I made him tap out, which is technically true. Tony Nese act like he was going to do something. Jack Gallagher came out. He said, we don't know. Again, he's going to be with Austin Aries anyway. He has his back. So Jack Gallagher actually used his umbrella, and he had hit Tony Nese with it a couple times, and Tony Nese was able to back out. So it seemed like the next feud here is going to be Jack Gallagher versus Tony Nese, but I feel like this will eventually lead to Tony Nese versus Austin Aries. It's the feud I never thought I actually wanted. I never knew I actually wanted until now. It's going to be interesting to say the least. Imagine Tony Nese versus Austin Aries. Like that should be, in terms of athleticism in the match, that should be very interesting indeed. However, Austin Aries is just, he's been my favorite cruiserweight. Besides Great Malik, which I like him to show from time to time. besides Grand Metal League, also he's been my favorite cruiserweight. So he's been my second favorite cruiserweight. So I would like to hope that he's still in the cruiserweight division because he's the reason why cruiserweight division has been better. Him and Neville both. I mean, I would like to him to be also part of Raw too. I mean, if he just goes up to like the main, like the official Raw roster instead of cruiserweight division, I'll feel perfectly fine with that as long as they actually do something with him. But I feel like you do a lot more in cruiserweight division. He had a lot more time to shine as like the spotlight's been on him for the past 3 months, and at 205 Live, the cruiserweight division. So I would like to think that it will still be on him if he's on the cruiserweight division. But I also like to think that it will still be with him on the Raw if he would just be on the Raw main roster too as well. So I mean, we can only find out. Last time will tell. We don't know when Austin Aries is going to be coming back. But turn 20 to Jack Gallagher, and I do apologize, guys. My window is open and my fan is on because it's hot as hell in this room. So yeah, the only time will tell when that happens. But Tony versus Jack Gallagher should be very interesting. We have a strategist in Jack Gallagher versus again a cruiserweight who is like a heavyweight with Tony Nese. Should be very interesting. Then we have the main event: Akira Tozawa versus TJ Perkins. Before the match actually started, TJ Perkins did talk from backstage like, "Yo, I actually saw your match last week, and again, the crowd was actually kind of behind you, doing your stuff your own way." I feel like this is slowly going to turn TJ Perkins' face. We don't know, which will be, I guess, good because I think he did that little heel thing going on for the past 3 months, just for him to just reback face for kids to actually like him. Because he does seem like, again, he has a theme music of a baby face, so why not? But he fought Akira Tozawa because Tyson knows they would give him a match on the main event on 205 Live, and he was able to do it. And Akira Tozawa was able to beat TJ Perkins. A very good match. Again, the Cruiserweight put on great matches. Just that the fans will actually give a shit about them, it would mean something. I gave a shit about it, and I actually enjoyed the match. Akira Tozawa was actually able to get a victory with that senton, which I'm assuming this would be his new finishing move besides the German suplex. So that senton was his finishing move, and they beat TJ Perkins. Backstage, Neville is happy, and then Neville is right next to him saying, "Yo, like, why are you doing this, Tyson Neville? You have no idea we can put Akira Tozawa through if he actually does decide to go down his path." And Tyson Neville saying, "Hey, you might be looking at the next Cruiserweight champion," and it's with Neville irritated. So again, this is strongly leading into the fact that probably Akira Tozawa is the next number one contender for Neville. It'll probably happen at Great Balls of Fire, which I have no problem with. Akira Tozawa versus Neville, we have yet to see that. So that's going to be very, very interesting indeed, to say the least. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like, definitely, really looking forward to Akira Tozawa versus Neville. I was looking forward to Nope, as long as I have no problem as long as leads in the Neville versus Grand Metal against SummerSlam. Book it. I'm just saying, just book it. Or actually, that goes against my word of Sega Alexander versus Noam Dar. It may lead in Neville versus Noam Dar, SummerSlam, who knows. 205 Live was good, that's just what the crowd would actually give a fuck. Now we move on to NXT. Actually, before I go to NXT, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Just checking Facebook. Anyway, back to NXT. Drew McIntyre, he had a match because he returned back to full. So he was going for a couple weeks. NXT is only an hour show going to showcase so many superstars. So Drew McIntyre here, he killed Rob Risen, whoever this guy is. Again, Drew McIntyre. Again, can somebody tell me, please? I want to confirm. Was Drew McIntyre always this tall? I would like to think that he wasn't. I don't think he was ever this tall. I don't think he was ever this freaking tall. But yeah, dominance. Again, Drew McIntyre's dominance continues. So Yeah, I would like to think this will eventually lead him getting an NXT title opportunity. I don't know when, but he will eventually. The Authors of Pain versus, again, Jobbers. Don't know who the hell they are. And it was funny because Razar, I think it was Razar. No, it was Akam. It was pretty much a handicap match because like Razar stand outside throughout the whole match, and it was Akam who really just dominated the whole match. It was pretty much a handicap match, like because I guess Razar and Paul Ellering didn't care because he knew Akam could take him out. He pretty much did. They just want to show their dominance. Like again, one person on the team can actually take you out. And after the match, because obviously Octopus Pace actually won, Paul Ellering called out Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery actually came out. They did a standoff. Paul Ellering told him to back off because it's not worth it right now. Again, these two might be the one because they're big enough. They're big enough to actually fight them. So we can only imagine they'll probably come to head at Brooklyn 3 between the Authors of Pain versus Heavy Machinery. That should be very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed. So yeah. Then move on to Velveteen Dream. He's making his debut in Full Sail against, again, now I'm going to say a jobber. He was actually part of Cruiserweight Classic, I believe. Raul Mendez. I was going to make sure. Got my facts straight here. He was a part of Cruiserweight Classic. He fought Brian Kendrick in the first round. That's why I don't remember him because he lost. That's why I don't remember. But yeah, he fought the Velveteen Dream. And Velveteen Dream pretty much made quick work for him with the top elbow drop. So there's that. Then we move on to the main thing, which was the triple threat elimination match for the women's title, which pitted Asuka versus Ruby versus Nikki Cross. So, yeah, this was something else. Ruby Riott got eliminated first, thanks to Nikki Cross, with that hellacious thing off the top rope. That was weird. And it was down to Nikki Cross and Asuka. The match ended in a no contest because those two went outside the ring, which is weird because in a triple threat match, the same rules, even though it was an elimination match, the same rules apply with no disqualification. So just because they exited the ring, they didn't say, I know it's not fall count anyway, but still they had the right to exit that part of the arena. But hey, they ruled a no contest. Nikki Cross and Asuka was still fighting each other outside. It ended with them coming back into Full Sail. They were on like the tech stuff. Asuka was near the edge, and they crossed it like this cross body, and they both fell through a table. And it was like, huh, interesting. Hold on. I'm just reading this. Okay. Yeah, they both fell through the table, and ended with both of them like defeated, like on the ground. We don't know what the hell has happened next. Until a couple of days later, when they announced on WWE that in 2 weeks from now, Asuka will defend her title against Nikki Cross 1-on-1 in a last man standing match. This should be interesting. People think Asuka's gonna win. I don't think this is the case. Why would they give this away free? Nikki Cross. Asuka ran through everybody else in the division. Nikki Cross is the only one who she is yet to actually really beat. Because if you remember what happened at TakeOver Chicago, Asuka technically, even though she's technically been both women, remember how the process went. Ruby Riott was trying to pin Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross kicked out, and then Asuka was able to pin Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. But technically, it was really Ruby Riott who she actually pinned. She is yet, and remember that fatal four-way at San Antonio when it was Asuka, Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. She beat Peyton Royce and technically Billie Kay. Nikki Cross was all the way near the entrance ramp through a table because of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. So again, she never really actually beat Nikki Cross. So this should be the fact was just these two one-on-one. We'll truly see if Asuka can actually beat Nikki Cross in a last man standing. Will Nikki Cross actually stand down? Again, we know Asuka's unbeatable, but is Nikki Cross unstoppable? That's the words I want to put into you guys. Asuka's unbeatable, but is Nikki Cross unstoppable? Can Nikki Cross do what no other person yet to do? Not only beat Asuka, but actually take the women's title from her. Nikki Cross will accomplish two things. She will be the first woman to actually beat Asuka, and the first person to take the first new women's champion in almost a year. And NXT women's champion over a year, thanks to Asuka won the title for more than a year. And she was the first superstar ever to actually beat Asuka, pin Asuka, or actually literally beat Asuka in a match. My predictions in 2 weeks, I feel like Nikki Cross is going to win. I feel like she's actually going to do it. She's going to beat Asuka. You're saying this is just regular NXT. You can say that for Brooklyn. No, what I think is going to happen is Nikki Cross can beat Asuka. She can get a rematch at Brooklyn. Nikki Cross wins again, and that's how Asuka officially turns heel. She just goes fucking crazy. Asuka will legit go crazy, or they could take the other route, just let her come up to the main roster. Because at that point, what else do they actually have to prove with Asuka? Asuka literally, like, think about it. I can't see Asuka try to reclaim her women's title. She has pretty much proven everything that she has done in NXT, so she could just go to the main roster, probably on Raw. More than likely on Raw. I can't see her on SmackDown. Because she'll just run through everybody on SmackDown. Raw is where it's like, yeah. Because think about Raw. Who are the people she's yet to beat on Raw? Sasha and Alexa. Everybody else she beaten. Sasha and Alexa to on SmackDown. She is yet to beat Charlotte. She's yet to beat Becky. She's yet to beat Lana. There's a bunch of there's actually a stand back. She actually go on SmackDown because there's a bunch of people she's yet to actually beat on SmackDown that she never actually beat before. She beat Carmella. She never fought Natalia. If you don't count live events, But I'm talking about in terms of television, she yet to beat a bunch of people on SmackDown. So maybe. And when she was actually touring when she got called up, she was actually touring with the SmackDown crew. So I can only imagine eventually her being on SmackDown. She go on either or. It's interesting to see, but I feel like in 2 weeks, Nikki Cross will become the new women's champion. I feel like they're gonna pour a swerve. They don't, because people again, WWE always does the opposite of what people expect them to do. That's what they always do. Nobody expects Nikki Cross to actually beat Asuka, so that's why they're actually going to do it. They have a bunch, like, we're still in June. We have a bunch of time until Brooklyn, which is not until August. There's a bunch of shit they could do in 2 months. I'm telling you. And it's like, how shocking. This will make people want to watch NXT even more. On regular NXT, not at takeovers, where like shit gets real at takeover. On regular NXT, Asuka lost. Who would have thought that? People expect her to lose at a takeover, but imagine what they could do. They do it at a freaking regular NXT. Like, that would speak volumes. I'm telling you. I think Nikki Cross, they're gonna pull a bullet. They're gonna pull the trigger and make her lose at 2 weeks. And then she gets her match at Brooklyn, and then she goes to the main roster. Makes sense to me, I guess. It makes sense to me, at least. Yeah, so that was the NXT. Very good show. Again, that women's match was interesting. To led into what's going to be happening 2 weeks from now. So yeah. Before we I'm about to go into Money in the Bank, our predictions for Money in the Bank. We'll take this quick break. Then we'll get into our predictions for Money in the Bank, and then we'll call it a day, guys. So yeah, I'll be right back. I don't know what happened. I'm the only one talking. It's hard to think. It's hard to talk by yourself. I'm just saying. Well, I've been out here less than 30 seconds. I'm just saying. Well, because it's a lot. It's not a lot, baby, but I'm sure you need some pasta salad again for Saturday. I'm like, here. Don't worry about what's going on. Yeah, baby. Yeah. I'll book it. Well, Jason's $20. With that. $20 that I borrowed from today's day. Right. We get more. We need some pasta to see the salad. Two pasta, relish, crabby, and a bell pepper. Go ahead. Seven with tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You ain't never worry about that. I'll do it. Yeah, that's not. Well, well, here, okay, no. Just leave it. Oh, yeah. And I asked the students to say something about something. And I'll get the tag I don't. You got to get fried and the hamburger rolls and hot dogs. You can't, long as they got a good name on it. Make sure you know, but I get you don't get off what much to pay for it. I'm trying to take you $100. And the other thing was I need to down and take the towel, say 12 to 20. I'll put you a baby back in it and $2 that I asked. Yeah, I'll pay for it. If you don't, I'll pay that. I don't know what you're doing. I guess give it to you. I can give it to you. But I'm just saying, I don't know. Why? Okay, but so what? You see, Justin, they get water. I'm not talking to you. No, you can carry the stuff. You actually need it's not that heavy. It's just the fact that how exactly you put it. Right, but what do you want me to do home? And yeah, and you can bring it home in the back of the trunk. Or you can walk home with me to live. Okay, then I'll be the case child. Yeah, because they want to sell it. Yes, we do need them because they make. Yeah, we do that. And I am back, guys. Sorry about that. I was just talking to my family about stuff and whatever I'm going to be doing tomorrow since it's pay-per-view. And basically, if I get home, I'm scheduled from work from 6 to 12. I highly doubt that's going to happen. if I think because this person, if I feel like this person called out, my ass staying there longer. So I live right around the corner. I mean, money's money, but still, it's like it's to the point where it's like, come on. I legit have no life other than work. But yeah, there's that. So let's just get actually started into Money in the Bank. Hold on. I have to send this picture to my brother. They actually updated it. Yeah, let me just send this to my brother real quick. We'll get started with the Money in the Bank predictions. I just had the picture, John. Somebody's in here. It's in here, I swear to God. What else did I just save the picture to? I did. I actually did put it in there, didn't I? Alrighty, so. You just save it as a JPEG. Whatever, that's cool. Whatever. Anyway, we're just gonna get started with Money in the Bank. Predictions. I have Ron's Twitter open. By the way, Twitter's interface. Jesus Christ, it's so confusing. Anyway, let's get started. The only thing that he will not have his prediction on is the kickoff match because he probably didn't even remember what the hell the kickoff match was because they legit announced it yesterday, so he probably didn't even notice that. But it's cool, Ron. This match is not really that important anyway. The Hype Bros versus Colognes in a kickoff match. In his first match since returning from injury, Zack Ryder teamed up with Mojo Rawley to battle Colognes at Money in the Bank kickoff, streaming live tomorrow at 7 Eastern Standard Time. David Network, blah, blah. It's Hype Bros versus Colognes. Ron doesn't have a prediction for this, so I'm just going to give my prediction. It depends on where they go with this. It's a kickoff match, so I doubt it will actually be important. But then again, Extreme Rules, the whole Titus brand thing actually trying to be more important than I actually thought in terms of cruiserweights at least. So maybe again, SmackDown is different from Raw, so this might actually have more meaning, in my opinion, actually. So I might say the Colognes might win solely because I feel like this might be a heel turn for Zack Ryder. I would like to think that it might be a heel turn for Zack Ryder. He's going to turn on Mojo Rawley, and then they'll start feuding. Because we have a bunch of. Let me just go through SmackDown's tag team division. How many fucking tag teams do they have right now? So, okay, it's ridiculous how many freaking tag teams they have right now. It's like legit ridiculous. What is one way I can actually look this up? That's not the way I was going to look at this. Degeneration X. No. Jesus Christ. What is the one way I can actually look this up? I apologize. God, I'm trying to figure out one way I can actually look this up. Like a convenient way of actually looking this up. Give me like a list of tag teams. There you go. This is what I'm looking for. On the SmackDown's tag team division, right? We have 1, 2, 3. If you don't count the Hype Bros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we technically have only 5. The Sign Brothers are not, because I don't consider the Singh Brothers as tag teams since they don't actually do anything right now at the moment. Until I see them in the actual tag team division, I don't actually consider that. But right now we only have 1, 2. If I don't count the Hype Bros, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 tag teams. Going on Raw, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly, we have exactly 5 in Raw. Exactly 5 in Raw. If you don't count Heath Slater. Oh no, 6. Heath Slater and Rhino. They're a team, so I don't know why they didn't count them. So that's 6. Oh, okay. So there'll be even amount of tag team. The issue is, however, what was I about to say? Shit. The issue is SmackDown's an hour less show than Raw, so they don't need that many talent on freaking SmackDown as they do on Raw. Because again, where am I going with this? I wish you would perform on SmackDown. Blah, blah, blah. Alrighty. All right. Anyway, what you call it? Yeah, but my point still stands on the matter. To talk to. Oh, Numbskull here. Oh, did you want to join now? I guess you give me. I guess we can do some Money Bank division. Did you want to join? No. I didn't even see you there, Numbskull. I was just trying to look at the tag and how many tag teams there are. All right, give me a second. Numbskull will be joining us, guys, for Money in the Bank predictions. That's cool. So give me 1 second. I'm about to send him an invite. So maybe it's a 3-way. I didn't mean it like that. Like in terms of it's gonna be Ron's predictions, my predictions, as well as Numbskull's. He came just in time too. Money Bank predictions. Give me 1 second. About some invite. Blah blah blah. He saw the invite on Twitter that I'm about to send him. And there you go. All right, Numbskull, I'll be waiting for you. Start doing predictions. As we wait for Numbskull, I'm just again the point I was trying to get at with the tag team divisions. SmackDown's an hour less show, so they don't need that many tag teams on compared to Raw, where Raw only has exactly 6, technically 6 tag teams. I don't know why I don't count Heath Slater right on the list. I was, but hey, Numbskull, what's up? Glad to see you, man. Otherwise, I feel like I was talking to myself for way too long.
Right, I was like, you can use it.
Yeah, I mean, you came just in the right time too because I'm about to do my bank prediction. So
perfect.
Got to see your thoughts on it. So right now, I was actually at the very beginning with the Hype Bros versus Cologne, the kickoff match. I was saying how, my prediction was Cologne's because I feel like this is a breakup between Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. I feel like Zack Ryder is going to turn heel for feeling Mojo Rawley like went way too far ahead of him, and he feels like he tried to take the spotlight back. And I also just personally think they don't need that many tag teams because with the New Day appearing on here now, we have a total of 6 tag teams if you don't count the Singh brothers.
I don't.
Already on SmackDown.
Not at all.
That's what I said. Yeah,
they're Jinder Mahal's escort.
Exactly. So if you don't count them, we already have exactly 6 tag teams. That's way more than what's needed on SmackDown. Yeah, that's why I personally think
I'm gonna have to agree with you. They seem to be rebranding the colognes.
Exactly.
For a third time now, trying to get something right. And
third time's a charm.
In the interim, there's still something I really hope shows up, but maybe that'll come later. And when I'm assuming you mean Carlito. Yes, that would make it. I would like to think this is where it leads. I would like to think that's where it's headed because it would be good to get Carlito back in, but then also give kind of the colognes like almost a challenge to the New Day, because then New Day is really the only ones that's like a stable in the division, and really it's always a toss up like, okay, who's going to wrestle for New Day this week? But then if you throw in Carlito, who might eventually come back, it's he was part of that big purge, unfortunately. But that would give Primo and Epico kind of that push because they've never really gotten over the only thing that would really get them to that is Carlito kind of like giving them a fucking a kick in the ass and say, all right, let's be colognes, let's live up to our legacy. Exactly. And that's why I would like to think like why give them the Cologne name? It won't really mean it won't really mean anything unless Carlito comes back. Right. But yeah, they are probably building to a split of the Hype Bros because they're definitely pushing that, New Jersey Ice Z gimmick back on it. And, kind of having Zack Ryder go back to that viral Jersey Shore type gimmick. Exactly. And Mojo, you don't just let a guy win the Andre the Giant Memorial and just put him on the shelf. I said that earlier. And that's what they kind of did, and now they're playing off that fact. Last week having Mojo be like, Shane, come on, I won it, and I'll just put it on the shelf. Like, are you challenging me, or did you just forget about me? Which it's very easy to get lost in that SmackDown roster. You just have a whole bunch of huge names that just blow it out the box constantly, and especially for someone like Mojo who's looking for that breakthrough. I mean, if you rewind to last year, Baron Corbin won it. And now look at him now. He's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Exactly. This year. So I could see it, And there's also talks of, Gronk coming into the WWE when he feels like his time is over. So that might spill over eventually. But we'll see. We'll see how things pan out. But I think you're right on with that. You're leading to a split up of the Hype Bros, which kind of sucks because the Hype Bros are over with the crowd. It's just they've been punished to the mid card. I'm pretty sure this match is going to be pre-show. Yeah, no, what it is a kickoff match. That's why I'm debating if the split will actually happen here. I would like to think the split would happen if they actually get a SmackDown title match, tag team title match, which I doubt because the New Day is involved, and I don't think this. I don't think the New Day versus Usos this is their only match. I would like to think that it's not. So that's why if the split does happen, they're going to start building to that and maybe just have it come to a head at SummerSlam. Maybe. But it might, again, after Extreme Rules, their kickoff's over. Apollo Crews, Kalisto, which probably nobody thought was actually going to be as good as it was. Right. It actually had some importance because Kyrus Gonzalez involved, which again leads to Neville. That kickoff show actually had importance. Usually kickoff shows mean nothing. Right. That actually led into something more. So that's why I like to think maybe with SmackDown's vastly different from Raw. Maybe SmackDown actually might put meaning into this kickoff match. So maybe. So I'm still saying Cologne. So you say the Colognes as well? Yeah, just because they're kind of starting to get the Colognes over in some way. I mean, it's kind of tough. They've had 2 previous gimmicks that fall flat. The Los Matadores kind of just came up short. And then the Shining Stars was just like, okay, cool. You're selling timeshares. You're just dumb as fuck. It was. I mean, I laughed at the gimmick. I thought it was hilarious, but it just never got over. I thought it was fucking. It was one of those things like you laugh because it's so incredibly stupid that it's hilarious. Yeah, it is. It's like, yeah, you would try to sell timeshares and Pulling one over on some of the dumber superstars like R-Truth is kind of funny.
Yeah, so, it was funny, but it wasn't gonna last. Yeah,
it runs its course and then it's dead. It's one of those things where you can get a good 4 to 6 weeks out of it, and then you're really, unless you do something major, you're just falling flat.
On a completely off-topic thing, even though they're not a part of Money in the Bank, how good is? I was gonna give you your opinion. How good is Breezango's been?
I love the Fashion Files. That shit. That
it's the best thing.
It's the greatest thing ever. I have never laughed so hard in my life.
It's that damn board. It's that board. That board that they have in their office. The board is so hilarious.
I don't know if you caught the one last week, but they had a picture of Sami Zayn. Under it said generic.
Yeah.
And then next to it said needs a mask, which is like kind of an homage to El Generico. I'm like, oh, you guys are so awesome.
It's like whoever comes will get because the writer is NXT. It was a former NXT guy, so I guess he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I love the whole Fashion File. Like when I first saw the Fashion Police, I was like, God, you're just, and that, like I was a huge fan of Tyler Breeze back in NXT. I was like, this kid has all the potential in the world. That gimmick is great. It's kind of like that. I'm prettier than you. It was almost like a new age spin on like Ravishing Rick Rude. Almost like the I'm so gorgeous, look at me kind of deal. Almost like a new age spin on that. But like, he was in title matches. He was a main event.
He was a main deal in NXT. Yeah, he was a legit main deal.
And it looked like he was kind of fading away. And then they put him with Fandango, and I was like, okay, you're just grouping up 2 lower mid carders just to maybe get something out of it. And it really didn't start happening. Like Fashion Police, you're just like, God, where are they going with this? Then when they started doing Fashion Files and the whole. Making fun of the Usos, that whole day one is H. I started laughing so loud. Their day one is H. I started I was crying because I was laughing so hard because they were hilarious.
That backlash was amazing. It was just sad that they didn't win, but
they are good talent. They are good in-ring workers, and I think they can really continue to carry this Fashion Police thing because those Fashion Files little vignettes, they work. They bring comedy, which is what they need to be.
Again, I say it every week on Twitter. How is this not a freaking network show at this point?
How is it? No, yeah, you can easily make
this like a half an hour
show. No problem at all. If Edge and Christian can get it off like that, so can Breezango, and it would be
definitely
hilarious because they could just sit there and shred apart every superstar's attire.
Yeah, exactly. And then plus
they made fun of Corbin just be, here's evidence for Corbin's thing,
yeah.
And the whole colognes thing, cologne.
And again, they come up with something new every single week, and they somehow would top themselves. Like this week, when Tyler Breeze was describing person, you say it's either like 1 arm, no, 2 arms.
Yeah, no, it's very good. I'm a huge. I will tell you though, I was not on board with the Fashion Police until Fashion Files started coming out. And then I've turned around. I'm a big supporter.
I always love Tyler Breeze. I always said before this, I always said like praying with Fandango was useless because I personally thought Fandango was useless. My opinion of Fandango did not turn around until I saw Southpaw Regional Wrestling. When how hilarious he was. And then my opinion of him changed. But as soon as they actually gave them a chance, it worked. Again, Smackdown is like legit land of opportunity. It really is.
It really is, and it goes to show you.
It worked.
Yeah, no, SmackDown is definitely the superior show, and it just goes to show you don't need 3 hours to make a good show.
You don't.
And that 3 hours is killing Raw. That third hour just kills them.
Yeah, and plus, again, they can make a superstar out of anybody, i.e. Jinder Mahal, which I'd love to get your opinion on later. But
I got a lot to talk about that one, man. I'm
Jinder Mahal, but
slightly tilted at that one, and I'll tell you why later. But yes, definitely. So I got the Colognes winning this one, and I think you're hitting it right on that they're working towards a split of the Hype Bros, and maybe in the near future working on a push for the Colognes if they get something else going. I just don't think at the time being, because New Day just came back, it's not the right time for the Colognes.
Exactly.
You let it marinate for about a year, and then maybe it's time to bring them up.
No, you are definitely
we'll see, because we're gonna have a good about 6-month feud between the Usos and the New Day.
I can definitely see that. They could probably last that all the way probably until Survivor Series.
Which is kind of good because that SmackDown tag division is a little lackluster, and that's why they moved New Day because they need to breathe life into it.
It's so sad because again, I get this issue is another issue with its timing. Like perfect example, when America Alpha was tag team
Oh
champions,
yeah,
when like the Wyatt family, like when that whole thing was over, they could have easily had the opportunity to push the Ascension.
mm-hmm.
And they had to, and they hinted at it too. I'll always never
Well, then
forget.
look at that. Where's American Alpha? I haven't seen them for at least a month on TV.
Which I think that's what the Fashion Files was about. I personally think that's what it was about. I think it was American Alpha that they were referring to.
There's a lot of things that need to happen with American Alpha. I personally think they need to move to Raw and become Team Angle 2.0. I think that's what will get them back over. But right now,
I personally think Shelton Benjamin was involved in that. Had he not got injured, I think he would have been their manager.
Maybe
American Alpha. I personally thought he would have.
Mm-hmm.
But
we do have Curtis the GM, and they're kind of building. I've been reading that he's taking physicals to get back in the ring. They're testing how good he is.
Potential feud with Triple H, which is all right, I guess. Potential feud with Triple H, maybe, who knows? But moving on to the next match. I guess we'll start with the women's match. Naomi versus Lana, and Lana's technically official 1-on-1 match. She was at the match at WrestleMania. So who do you think's gonna win?
I've got Naomi. I think the whole Lana thing is great. They can build her. The only problem is what you need to do with Lana. See, I was questioning it too when she came out, when I heard her music drop, which is kind of a weird kind of thing. Like, I get they want to do the dancer gimmick with her, but it doesn't seem like a right fit. Like, everyone's first gimmick is kind of, which I'll give, this is Lana's first gimmick. She's not really established yet, but I know they're going to give it to Naomi because even if somebody is working hard, i.e. Jinder Mahal, they gotta put him through their paces first. They're not just gonna let him win a title match, their first singles match.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even if you want to count like first main roster matches, there are some guys that had to pay dues. Not a lot of people have done that. I mean, obviously Kevin Owens came in on the main roster, but he had established himself really big on NXT TV. Now, Lana's been working NXT for the last 6 months, but not on TV.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to just shuffle her in there.
For no reason.
I think what we're going to see is, I want to see how Lana works. That kind of chicken wing,
That slam, that was actually good. I
don't even know how you describe that, to be honest. It's a chicken wing.
I don't know what it was. I thought it was like a spine. That's why I said it was like either a spine buster.
It's like a chicken wing sit out spine buster, which is a little. I don't know. I like the look of it. It looks good.
Yeah, it looked good. It did look good. Even with her having that dress on, which I'm debating. Quick question: do you think she's going to be wearing the dress in the match?
No, I have seen the pictures. I will actually link you the pictures.
Yeah, because I have no idea what the hell she's going to wear. Yeah.
Yes, I have seen it. It's kind of like a. Think of Charlotte's attire, but as a one piece.
I got you. Okay.
Let me. Almost like what she wore at WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
But you're gonna have, kind of like here. There we go. There it is. I will view the image, and then I will link that actually in the Hangout. So if you want to see it. That's what it's going to be. That's her ring gear.
I see.
So it's still that kind of like one piece deal.
Yeah, it's essentially Charlotte, but it's a full suit.
But it's a full suit.
All right, I can see that.
Yeah, but I'm expecting Naomi to win, obviously, and then maybe throw Lana into the Mae Young Classic and develop her a little bit more there. And let her kind of come more into her own there, or start, because we have John Cena coming back, and this is all kind of tying into when John Cena comes back. He had a good feud with Rusev, and obviously we would have husband and wife versus eventual husband and wife in some good feud, and then you can have her work with somebody like Nikki Bella, who's going to kind of carry a match for her, make her look good, kind of put her over without sacrificing any of your big name talent. Exactly. You know, you're
You know,
right
because
about
we
that.
have not seen Nikki since WrestleMania.
And neither has John Cena.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I've got Naomi in this one, hands down.
See, the issue is it all depends on which match comes first. If the women's Money in the Bank match comes before this match, then my opinion would change. But I'm gonna pretend like this will come before.
So far, what I've seen is that the Money in the Bank women's ladder match is gonna be before
this match.
Before this match.
So with that being said, if the women's Money in the Bank match is before, I think Naomi's going to retain because I think immediately afterwards the person's going to cash it. I'll say who it is when when we get to the match. But I feel like that's what's going to happen. If it's after,
I'm thinking. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm saying so. If this match is before, then no. I mean Naomi's going to retain regardless. But it's I feel like how the outcome is going to. I feel like so. Here's what I think is going to happen. If the women's Money in the Bank is is it before? What the word I'm trying to look for? If it's before this match, Lana's going to lose, but she's going to be irritated, just attack Naomi from behind, which will allow the woman to cash in. If it's after, then I think Naomi's just going to retain without Lana doing anything.
Right.
Either way, I think Naomi regardless, but I think it all depends. Like, see, the issue all depends on the order of how that match happens. I don't know, but I think Naomi, because there's no way in hell they're going to put Lana on the title that quickly. There's no way.
No, not at all.
With the reactions at the beginning, I think even Dave Wee's confused.
So far it's looking like the title match is going to be before. What I'm seeing in the match cards, we got Hype Bros Clones, Usos, New Day, and then Naomi, Lana, Money in the Banks, finishing the night with Jinder and Randy.
I actually think the men's Money in the Bank match is going to main event it, but that's just me.
I'm looking at the match card, the confirmed match card right now.
Okay.
Because, and this is how it happens, you have the Money in the Bank match before the championship match. And we'll go into that when we get it, so I can kind of pick your brain about it. And
I got you. Okay. No, but I'm just curious, where exactly are you looking at this? Like how the web?
I'm on Bleacher Report.
Okay, that's how they think. Okay, then.
Yeah, so Bleacher Report, they're pretty.
It's just because just the way the WWE, like on the WWE website, I'm just looking at WWE, just look at the match card. The way they have it like listed, they have the Hyper versus Colognes, then they have the SmackDown Women's, then they have the SmackDown Tag Team, then they have the Women's Money in the Bank, then they have the WWE Championship, then they have the Men's Money in the Bank. That's how they have it listed.
Okay. That's
why I'm
knowing
thinking
how they like to roll with Money in the Bank, and you go, oh yeah, he held it for 45 minutes. They're gonna have that championship match at the end because they want to build up that kind of suspension, like he could cash it in after the main event.
I got you.
And that's why they're gonna
find out like that. But yeah, I think Naomi regardless. I think Naomi
absolutely
regardless. So moving on to the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, which is Usos defending against the New Day. We think actually before we actually get into that, I forgot Ron. He did send his prediction. He did pick Naomi as well. So all three of us agree is Naomi.
Okay, cool. So, what about Hype Bros and Colognes? Does he have Colognes?
He didn't know because this was before yesterday. I know they announced it yesterday. And again, probably he didn't think that match was even worth it. So yeah.
See, I'm a little bit torn about the Hype Bros and Colognes, but like I can see the Colognes winning. But the no pun intended hype surrounding Zack Ryder's return is a little big. So the Colognes,
it might make it
put him over for what it's worth.
For the Usos and New Day, who do you have and why?
Usos and New Day, I got New Day. You know, they are itching to put title belts back on New Day because they can draw that crowd. They have longest reigning, and they were able to hold their momentum all the way through 400 plus days.
Exactly.
It
depends. I mean, I feel like the New Day is going to win, but I think it's going to be through disqualification. I think the Usos are going to realize, oh shit, they're going to fucking win. So fuck that, is going to get disqualified. Like I feel like I think it all depends because again, the New Day has 3 members. I feel like what's going to happen,
right? And they always have.
They're going to provoke the third member outside, will cause them to attack them. Like I can see Xavier was being outside,
But see, New Day never really does that. You know, I
know, and that's my. I don't know. They might,
whoever it is outside, if it's Kofi, if it's Xavier, or even if it's Big E, if they get knocked, they don't go in and retaliate because they know
They know. I know. Yeah.
I
like they're too smart. Like they're too smart.
Tactics. It's a distraction tactic. It's never a hit the other guy. It's a hey, look at Xavier holding the trumpet, or hey, Big E's up on the apron here. But they never.
But No, you are right about this. But I do think the New Day is going to win. I just don't think they're going to get the title. The Usos are going to somehow hold this title until at least SummerSlam.
We'll see. I got New Day going over here.
Yeah, it's just because again they did the same thing with Cesaro and Sheamus on Raw. I expected them to win, but the way they're booking the match, I don't know if you like noticed it with the Hardys and Cesaro and Sheamus. I'll explain this earlier in the show. Cesaro and Sheamus has yet to actually truly beat the Hardys. The Hardys had their numbers. Just again at the whole situation with Extreme Rules and Steel Cage match. They beat the Hardys, but it's like, can you officially say they really did? Because Jeff Hardy got out the cage.
It was such a weird kind of deal. Like, okay, Jeff got out, but he came back in. Last time they were in a steel cage match, when Jeff got out and came back in, he was still technically classified as out.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So the second Matt Hardy hits the ground, that should be it.
That's my point. And that's exactly my point. So technically, if you want to go by that logic, the Hardys won. But since Jeff Hardy wasn't outside the same time Matt was outside, and that's my point.
I just want to know when that rule changed.
I know. So same shit. The submission match. When the hell is the rule breaks in the submission match?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like they changed the rules and a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I just think the New Day, they're gonna win. Don't get me wrong, they're gonna win. I just don't think the Usos are somehow gonna hold those titles somehow, some way. Either they can say screw it and just leave, which I can't see happening because with Thurman, they're gonna probably prevent that from happening. Or they're just gonna they're gonna somehow hold the titles somehow, either with referee, like they're gonna hit something.
And of course, something's gonna happen.
I just personally think, and then Ron, he believes the New Day via DQ as well. So he agrees with me. I think he said the Usos either way are gonna hold the belts. They just think New Day's gonna win. I agree with that. I just don't know. I can't see the Usos losing that quickly because then what was the point of them holding the titles?
Yeah.
And especially like plus they just got a new shirt out too. I guess they want to sell that, and then what will be the point in buying a shirt they're not even the champions anymore?
Just remember their day one is H.
I know. They really should put the emphasis on the H too.
That's great.
It's hilarious. Now moving on to the women's Money in the Bank: Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella.
This one's kind of tough. I really want to say they'll give it to Charlotte. Just because the way how they treated Alexa when she switched brands, they put the belt on her quick.
Immediately, yeah.
I'm thinking they're going to put Money in the Bank on Charlotte and have her hold it for a while. Because I can see either of the faces winning it, Charlotte or Becky. I can't see Carmella. She's still not fully developed. Tamina's too fresh coming back, and Natalya just doesn't really have the chops to challenge for
Natalya.
She doesn't have a build to, and then the weird thing is Charlotte's kind of like a heely face, so I don't know how they're going to play that out because they kind of had Charlotte turn face, but kind of not. I don't know. I see. If I had to put money down, I'd go with Charlotte. That's who I'm going for.
And
just
actually,
thinking of fact how they dealt with Alexa when she switched brands.
Then Ron also agrees with you. He does pick Charlotte as well.
Exactly.
So, but for me now, before I give my prediction, there's nothing to do with anything. Did you hear the rumor about Maria and Mike Bennett?
Yes, I was just staring at a picture of them right now too because they're on the road with WWE at this pay-per-view and they're set to join Smackdown.
Exactly. So
and they're kind of. They've been teasing at a 6th person in that.
That's my point.
So it could be.
I don't think Maria's gonna win. Don't get me. I don't think they'll do the same exact thing like with the Hardys. Like, okay, the rant of shocking.
No, not with Maria.
That's what I said. I don't think they're gonna do that. She's not that popular.
No.
In terms of WWE's eye, that they will just immediately do that. So I mean, I think she'll be inserted to the match. I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think she's gonna win. Who I actually think is gonna win. and you'll understand my reason after I explain it. Is I think it's Carmella. I think Carmella's going to win because I would like to think the SmackDown writer, who is the NXT writer, he likes continuity. And continuity-wise, Carmella has had Naomi's number throughout this whole time. Okay. And she has pinned Naomi on a couple occasions. With thanks to the help of James Ellsworth. Again, James Ellsworth is a factor because of Carmella. So I would like to think James Ellsworth is going to be involved in this match somehow.
I'm gonna go out on a limb right now and tell you at some point in that match, Ellsworth is gonna get
out of the match probably.
So he's gonna get hit with a ladder, or Becky's gonna do something to him. Becky always has James's number. Becky's gonna do something to Ellsworth.
Or maybe James Ellsworth might be the reason why Becky doesn't win, and he might distract her and then make Carmella. I think Carmella's gonna win the Money in the Bank. Cause think about it. Can't you picture like James Ellsworth holding Carmella's case? Like he could be holding the briefcase. Like I can picture that happening. Like just
I think you might be onto something because maybe JBL dropped a hint last week because I distinctly remember this saying because JBL was saying Ellsworth is great, somebody to hold Carmella's luggage. He said that last week, and I was like, the second you said that, hold the briefcase, I was like, holy shit, that very well could be her luggage.
That's why I pray. Just again, I would like to.
Oh my god, I didn't even think. Yeah,
about that. I was like, that's what I was saying. I would like to think that the SmackDown writer, who was the former NXT writer, likes continuity. So
I'm right there with you. That I didn't put that together now until you said that.
Yeah, that's the only reason. I mean, ever since they announced it, I already knew it was going to be. No, before they announced it, I thought had Lana not came back, I thought Carmella was going to face Naomi at Money in the Bank. But since they switched to Lana, I think they're going to give Carmella the Money in the Bank. I think Becky Lynch is going to be the one like close because usually in Money in the Bank matches it also makes new feuds. So I think coming out of this, it's going to be Carmella versus Becky just because Becky got screwed over. I can see Charlotte versus Tamina just because like two like strong women fight, and I think Natalia might just be doing something else. Maybe Maria. If Maria actually
maybe depending on who that sixth woman is.
Yeah. So that's why I said I think, but that means I think Carmella's gonna win probably because of James Ellsworth. And I think it's gonna be Becky Lynch is gonna be that close, and then James Ellsworth is gonna screw her over. It's gonna be Carmella. I think now again, with that being said, I don't think Carmella's actually going to cash. If it's before, how I see it playing out, if this match is before the women, Carmella's gonna win. She's gonna try to cash in on Naomi, but Naomi is somehow gonna fend that off. Or Becky's gonna be a legit piss and just again stop Carmella, which will lead in those two feuding.
Right.
I can see that happening. Either way, I can see Carmella potentially not only winning it, but potentially even try cashing it in. I don't think she's gonna be successful though. I mean, like it's not like she's gonna lose a briefcase. It's just Becky Lynch is gonna stop. That's how I see it picturing out. I've been debating how that's gonna work out for weeks, but that's what I was debating.
Yeah.
That's just personally me. If Maria gets involved, it's a bunch of factors happening in this women's. Like this women's Money in the Bank is more important than what people realize.
Right.
Like this is gonna be something. Now which one do you want to go first? I feel like either of these two can main event Money in the Bank. Which one gonna go tackle first? The men's Money in the Bank or Davey title match?
Let's go with the men's Money in the Bank.
All right, so we got.
I know it's not going to main event. I'm calling it right now. We are going to have.
I don't know. Maybe
we're going to have.
I don't know.
The title match
because it's kind of damning. Because again, I would like to think. I know, like again, the Davey title is a Davey title, but I would like to think that after, like, since the brand split is taking in effect, I would like to think that the theme of the pay-per-view and the name would like to actually main event the show. Otherwise, what's the point? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like again, Hell in a Cell. I would like to think the Hell in a Cell match will actually main event the pay-per-view. Otherwise, what the hell is the point? Same thing with TLC and Elimination Chamber. Now I know there were some occasions where that didn't happen, but I would like to think if it's the name of the pay-per-view, why not main event it? And again, it'll just make more importance on the Money in the Bank briefcase itself.
Yeah, but
the headline. No, but I do get your point. I do get.
They've always kind of had it like that, just to kind of put that kind of question mark on the title match.
Mm-hmm. No, which is true. I'm trying to remember the last time that the Money in the Bank actually main evented a pay per view was actually 2014, where technically it wasn't even the main event because the Money in the Bank was actually for the Davey title.
Right.
So I guess in that essence. All right. Okay, but we will get started on this one. So it's Owens, Styles, Corbin, Zayn, Ziggler, and Nakamura. Who do you think's gonna win?
I got Corbin. They're looking to give him a monster push. They've kind of had him. Even though Sami Zayn's been getting it over on him, I think they're gonna have Corbin have it, and just because they're ready to give him that final push onto the main card. He's always been knocking on the door, and now's the time.
Yep, and now it's like him breakthrough.
Because, and I'm going to explain it like this. So you have AJ Styles. He is already an established talent. He's already won a title once. He's easy to put a belt on. He doesn't need it. Ziggler's a previous champion. He's kind of a fading star right now. You don't want to put it on somebody whose future is kind of questionable with the company. Mm-hmm. Kevin Owens, he's already the U.S. champ. He's one of the best heels in the industry right now. You don't need to put it on him because this whole Face of America thing might even lead to a good feud with John Cena again.
Yeah, yep.
Because John Cena has that whole, kind of USA. Sami Zayn, he kind of shot himself in the foot earlier this year when he got some heat backstage, and they kind of just made him look like this goober. Like that's the best word I could use to explain it. He's just a goober. You see him, you have Styles and Nakamura in the back, like talking strategy, and Sami Zayn comes here flipping his hands everywhere, saying, "What should we do?" Like almost like
like a joke,
like a joke, and he's like the rookie who wants to like every step of the match. Okay, yeah, you got him, I got him, and so Sami Zayn, not yet. I'd say you put a lesser title on Sami before you give him the Money in the Bank. Shinsuke, I know a lot of people are holding out for him. He doesn't need it either. I think he's going to be inserted into a feud with Kevin Owens, to be honest.
That's exactly, and I was actually about to say that as well.
I think that's what we're going to do. They're going to put the U.S. title on Shinsuke and see how well that goes, and then maybe in a year or two, we see Nakamura get another shot.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got Corbin taking this one because he's the one that can use it. He's the one looking to get into that main event picture. And
Corbin is pretty much that's like I think they're gonna push him as that main besides Owens. Mm-hmm. Like that he's going to be like the heel that,
and he's been getting better on the mic.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, I was always a fan of Corbin. Even in NXT, I was always a fan of him too. So me too. It's like I'm just glad that now like he's getting this. It's been like a year, even though after the brand split, like it was a year slow build. But now I think again Corbin's the guy. Now Ron, he said Owens. Now I'm questioning why he said Owens. I haven't even though like Ron's not here, so I can't like confirm why he picked Owens. But I would like to think the reason why, because I think they're gonna take the belt off of him eventually. Right. So I think they want to at least give him something because of all of his work on Raw thanks to the Universal title, and then like that whole feud with Chris Jericho, which in my opinion was the feud of not only Raw, just of the year, like that long-term feud that he had with Chris Jericho. And I think that that's what they're gonna take the belt off of Owens eventually. I think they know that. I think again, I believe this is why Ron picked Owens. So I think you're gonna take the belt off of him, just give him at least money and give him something. Because again, he became a Universal champion. He never became WWE champion before. So
right.
I can see Owens as WWE champion. I can personally definitely see that. So I think that's why he picked Owens. Maybe I can't vouch for him. Maybe next week when Ron comes back after the fallout, maybe he'll explain to me why he picked Owens. But that's what he picked him. But I personally I agree with you as well, Corbin. He's been my pick since ever since they announced the match. Because even before even Money in the Bank was even on the radar, I said Corbin was going to win Money in the Bank. It just makes sense. I can see him holding the briefcase for like a long time. He's probably gonna wait until after SummerSlam, probably. Mm-hmm. Like he won't be cashing in like anytime soon. Nakamura, he's going against Owens. It's evident because he beat Owens 3 times in a row. It's clearly obvious that's what they're going for here. Right. Zayn, in terms of Zayn, is questionable. He might turn. I can't see him turning heel against anybody. He might get inserted into like a situation with Rusev. If he comes back, he can face Ziggler. It's a bunch of stuff he can do with Zayn. He can face Ziggler. Who else is another heel that's on? Or Mike Bennett. Maybe Mike Bennett, since he's coming up.
Yeah, maybe.
That could, because Styles, I could see Styles facing Ziggler for a little while longer. I can see that happening. Because Styles, he probably won't get a turn into David's title picture till after SummerSlam. Because I'll tell you why I think that after when we get to David's title picture. Because of Nakamura, I can potentially see, in terms of Nakamura, he might feud with Owens. I don't think he's going to win a title. I think what's going to happen at SummerSlam is going to be Styles versus Nakamura.
Okay.
At SummerSlam. Because at WrestleMania, I think because, again, if you remember the day after WrestleMania, they hinted at the feuds that were going to happen. Paul Heyman hinted about Roman Reigns, saying that he has to face Brock Lesnar eventually. And SmackDown, even though it wasn't like they didn't directly say it, they did it in a subtle way. Miz was dressed as John Cena, mocking him, and then Nakamura came out. Even though John Cena wasn't actually there, I would like to think that the NXT writer, like he did it like as like an interpretation. Like John Cena was like there, Miz was acting like John Cena, and then Nakamura came out. So I think it's gonna be Nakamura versus Cena at WrestleMania, just because of that. But that's just me. But I just think it might be Styles versus Nakamura for the United States title at SummerSlam. And I can see Owen versus Zayn one more time probably at SummerSlam. There's a bunch of stuff they can go about doing it. I just still think it's gonna be Corbin. Plus, also if you notice, they released a new shirt for Corbin, where I released a new shirt.
Yep.
All of a sudden, like out of nowhere, if something's not gonna happen with him. So that's definitely obvious. It's gonna be Corbin.
Yeah, kind of a.
And I already said, like, I was saying it right before Money in the Bank even was around. Like Corbin's gonna win Money in the Bank. It's just obvious from the very beginning. Sami Zayn. I mean, unless I might like my backup plan would be Sami Zayn just because. I can see that, like him have the underdog holding the case. But the thing is, if Sami Zayn win it, I guarantee he won't win the title because they're just gonna screw him over out of it. But so I think Corbin, but my backup is Sami.
Yeah, like I said, Sammy's acting too much like a goober. They're not going to put it on him, especially if he's just getting out of that backstage heat that he caused a few months ago. Probably.
Now we go on to the main event. Now, before we get on the match, what are your thoughts? What was your reaction at Backlash? I just want to see some insight on there.
I knew it. I knew Mahal was going over. So I kind of knew that the whole Orton thing was getting stale. Going back to, I'm going to go back to Payback because I was actually at Payback, which was wonderful. That whole House of Horrors match. I don't know if you've seen the actual arena footage, but when they were showing that, they were showing it on the Jumbotron. The whole stadium was chanting "boring."
It was. The only interesting part was the refrigerator.
No, it was. It was very boring. People were booing, chanting "boring." I was there. It was 10 minutes of us just sitting in our seat like, God, this is
so retarded.
So I knew Orton's reign was going to be short after that. I was like, they can't carry this. This is going to be over, and then he's got nobody. Moving forward, Backlash, I knew it was going to happen. I had read I'd read all the articles about WWE wanting to do the India deal. So the second I knew that they were pushing really hard to get that TV deal in India, I knew he was going over because Vince McMahon has done that before. If he wants something, he's going to bend the rules to get it to him. Now, I will give it to him. Mahal looks better than he did when he was in three-man band. He's definitely been working out and eating right, and I will give him all the credit in the world if he tests clean like he says he does. I will give him all the credit in the world because that is impressive. That physique is hard to come by.
Yes,
especially when you're on the road 300 days a year.
It's like shit.
But people have commented, he gets tested constantly, which is true. WWE wrestlers do get tested, and that's why you see all these wellness violations. So it's either...
Which is amazing, by the way, how Jeff Hardy's still here. But that's another thing.
Right. I'm surprised. So it's either Jinder is juicing, and Vince McMahon just says, no, don't touch him because I want this WWE India deal. Or, he's really impressing the crap out of him, and it kind of just fell into Vince's hand like, hey, Jinder looks really good. Hey, I got WWE India. Let me just... Cool. Done. Which, like I said, I knew he was going over the second Vince wanted that India deal. You're not going to build up Jinder just to not get that deal. And that deal was not really close to getting made until Jinder won. And then they go, okay, exactly. You put it on somebody who could speak Punjabi? Sure. We'll give you that deal. And that's really what it was. Do I have a problem with it? Slightly. You know, I almost feel like he hasn't paid his dues enough. But like I said, Vince McMahon is a businessman. And if he wants it, he's going to go do it because he's got last say. And really, that was more for the TV deal. That's why he did it. That's why Jinder's going to drop it next month.
Probably.
You know, because there are talks that when Cena returns, he's going to take it off Jinder, which we all know Cena returns 4th of July.
Yep.
I
mean,
I don't.
No, go ahead.
I get it. From a business standpoint, I get it. Vince McMahon, I get it. From a fan standpoint,
it doesn't make no fucking sense.
You didn't have it on Orton long enough for it to make sense.
It didn't. Like, my reaction, I thought I missed something. I was watching the whole match. I was like, okay. The second he hit his finisher is 1, 2, 3. Like, I legit dropped from my chair because if you would have asked a fan, not like a month ago, would you see Jinder Mahal? Like, Jinder Mahal wouldn't even be in the conversation. Yeah. He wouldn't even been in a conversation about it a month ago. And it's like literally came out of nowhere. It's like, okay, he won number contender. Okay. And I said, like,
yeah.
The only reason why I believe David is, besides the Indian deal, which is, again, and it worked because that was all they were talking about, India, Jinder Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should have saw the news coverage like the day after. It was ridiculous. That's all they cared about.
Well, like I said, there you go. Business win for Vince McMahon.
They got exactly what doing it. But I think the main reason why they did this, and it makes sense. They want the Universal title to be more important since it's on their A-list show, Raw, and so that's why they have Brock Lesnar currently as Universal Champion. Mm-hmm. They want that title to feel more important than the WWE title. Because think about it: Brock Lesnar, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
makes sense. Brock Lesnar seems more important. That's why they put the Universal title on him. They want the Universal title to feel more important. So much so that they had a whole pay-per-view dedicated just to become the number one contender. Let's negate the fact that it's solely because Brock Lesnar can't show up all the time because of his contract. But they just made a whole pay-per-view dedicated just for the person to have a right to face Brock Lesnar. That's how you make the title make it more important, in my opinion. But I think that's the main reason why I did it. They want to show how more important the Universal title is than the WWE title, which is strange because the WWE title is their fucking title.
Right.
For almost how many years? 50 years? More than that? Yeah. And it's just strange, but hey. But that's why I personally believe that they did, besides the whole Indian deal.
Yeah.
But that's just me. But with that being said, I think the Jinder's there's no way they're going to make this joke end here.
No way.
There's no way. Because why? What would be the point? What would be the point?
You're going to have a Singh brother interference here. They're going to do something, and they're going to allow Jinder to get back over in a dirty heel way, which will be fine because it'll build him some heat, which is what you want with him because right now, as much as I hate to say it, like, it's working for him. You know, you couldn't have had a better heel at the moment. They hate him.
I know. It is perfect. I don't like.
I will give it to him as much as a shitty decision and kind of selfish on Vince McMahon's part. It's working. It
worked because nobody expected it, and that's why they're pissed.
Well, they're pissed too because it's a way to get it. And could he have kind of been developed more? Sure. Was it the time? No. But we're here now. There's nothing we can really do.
And it's like
company-wise, I don't think it ever would have happened if they didn't want that TV deal.
Oh yeah, of course not.
Done.
They could have put on fucking because that was the case. They could have easily just put it on they wanted a heel champion, so they probably would have gave the Baron Corbin right there. But
if they wanted a heel champion, they would have never had they would have had Wyatt still hold it.
Oh yeah, of course. And that's the thing. Yeah, I don't think Wyatt was ever supposed to go to Raw. I think it was like a last minute change. I think AJ was supposed to go to Raw.
Yeah,
they just said
there was a
last
lot
minute
of things.
It was like I was like debating on what was going to happen. I think Wyatt was like a last minute change.
Yeah,
it's like nah, screw it, put Wyatt on their set. Which we will talk about that after this prediction thing. I want your thoughts on Wyatt and JoJo. Yeah, I know. It seems like every month, but before that,
this is where it gets kind of tricky, and this is how kind of things happen. I mean, you're on the road with somebody for 300 days.
Hold on. Now, before you get that, I just want to still get my point across with.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, but with that being said, yeah, Jinder's going to retain.
Absolutely.
Or there's no way in hell again. Orton winning in his hometown, nonetheless. Mainly, this is the main reason why that shit's not gonna happen. And then if you heard like the rumor, how like not only Bob Orton's gonna be there, but like Ric Flair and them is gonna be there.
Harley Race. Yeah, it looks like
there's no way in hell they're gonna make Randy Orton win. Because they want as much heat.
No, it looks like there's gonna be a segment. I don't know if it's gonna be a phone segment or an in-person segment with like Ric Flair, Cowboy Bob Orton, and others like maybe Larry Hennig or Harley Race, some of these kind of older champions that, you know, they're almost going to kind of build it as like Jinder having the title as a slap in the face to that title.
Exactly.
You know, I think that's how they're going to play it. And because Orton's been dropping those older names a lot, like his dad and Harley Race and all these people, you know. So
yeah, I don't personally believe. I think it's going to happen. Jinder is going to retain. I think Orton's going to go into a feud with Rusev. Okay, what I think is actually going to happen, Rusev's going to come out and cost Orton the title because remember, Rusev, he did say a long time ago he wanted a match at Money in the Bank, and he wanted Shane to respond to him. That never happened. So he's going to say fuck it. So he's going to cost Randy Orton the match at Money in the Bank. I think that's what's going to happen, and Jinder's going to retain. Not because Rusev's going to align himself with Jinder Mahal. That's not the case. It's just he's just going to cost Orton the match, and then Orton's going to have somebody to feud with him, Rusev. And then John Cena probably going on his way to face Jinder. And 17-time world champion, hey. It writes itself, I guess. But yeah, I think if that's going to case, it's going to be either way, Jinder Mahal is going to retain. Also, Ron agreed that Jinder's going to retain. Wait, can't you not help but laugh at that? We're all agreeing that Jinder Mahal is going to retain the WWE Championship. Let this sink in for a second. Like, we all in agreement to that. Like, it's not a debate. Like, we're all agreeing that this is going to happen in 2017. This is the world we live in. Never would have saying Jinder Mahal and David Champion the same set. Never.
No, you would have never thought it ever.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's our prediction, guy. Before we go off in the air again, I did bring this up a couple minutes ago. I want to talk about, since Ron's not here, I was going to talk about it too. But what is your thoughts on the whole Bray Wyatt and JoJo thing?
Well, like I was going back to it, right as you finish your, we're going to come in with your prediction. I started to say you're on the road with somebody 300 days a year, right? You don't really have time for family between travel and workout and all this stuff, unless you are someone like Miz and Maurice who are both there, or say, not anymore, but Dean Ambrose and Renee, or Nikki and John, or some of those other couples. You're not traveling together. Yeah, Triple H and Stephanie. You have that. What are you going to do? You're a human being. I mean, look at who was it? Dolph Ziggler was dating Dana Brooke for a while. It just happens. You have female talent who's single. You have male talent who's single. Something is bound to happen. Now, am I a fan of infidelity? No, but do I blame Bray Wyatt? Not at all. You have, you're with somebody 300 days a year. You got to figure something out. You don't get to see your spouse except for 2 months maybe total at the end of the year. And that's, so I give props to him for landing that, but like for cheating on his wife, it's not a good look. And WWE's kind of pushing it under the rug right now, trying not to do anything with it. But it's something.
Oh no! If you think that we won't do something with this, you are sadly mistaken. The second I heard about this, all I said was, "I guess we know who Sister Abigail is." because if you honestly think Mr. Man is not going to pass up this opportunity to introduce Sister Abigail, and it's going to be JoJo,
I think that's a stretch.
I mean, I'm just saying, like this, he's gonna. JoJo's somehow gonna get involved in this. Mark my words. If Seth Rollins faced Bray Wyatt at Great Balls of Fire, JoJo's gonna interfere in the match just because. Because he'd be like, by God, WWE. Like,
I'm thinking it's gonna be some NXT talent or somebody from the Mae Young Classic.
I originally said it was if it was gonna be anybody. I did originally said it was gonna be who was it? Nikki Cross. So I did originally say that. But it's gonna be somebody. I know it's gonna be somebody.
I'm holding out hope, just due to her previous gimmick, that Sarah Logan, aka Crazy Mary Dobson, will be brought to the main roster as Sister Abigail. But they're giving her this like backwoods kind of fighter country girl thing, which could work, but it would make more sense to have her be Sister Abigail. But we'll see what happens. I think we're going to get a look at some female talent at the Mae Young Classic, and maybe we might get Sister Abigail out of it eventually, but it's going to be probably soon.
Now, do you think Asuka's going to be part of Mae Young Classic? Or is like they will shoot that bullet? Yeah, I got to say, because I kept like debating with my brother. I was like, if Asuka's in the Mae, like how would they put book Asuka that? Like, it's like, I said, like, how would they book that without Asuka not winning?
Well, yeah, if they if Asuka if Asuka's in it, immediately you put your money on her because they're not going to ruin her undefeated streak in a tournament.
That's my point.
Exactly.
Unless it's like some shady stuff, unless there's some shady like tactics out of match, like whatever. Like, there's no way you can put Asuka in this tournament and not expect her to win.
No, not at all.
That's ridiculous.
I think it's kind of a build to get more female talent out there, because right now you have your Raw women's division is kind of laughable.
It is. No, it really is. Because the only competent superstar on here is actually Alexa Bliss.
Well, yeah, Alexa Bliss, and you have her like beefing with Sasha, and it's like, well, Sasha's kind of burnt out. Raw played that stupid hot potato with the women's title between her and Charlotte, and just killed any momentum either of those people had. Charlotte kind of came out.
Charlotte was fine. Yeah, it was fine.
Charlotte came out better than Sasha. It just that killed her.
Barely hold it for a month. Yeah, Sasha could barely hold it for a fucking month.
My problem with the Raw division is Alexa is obviously good. She's good. She's great on the mic, minus the "This Is Your Life" segment. They tried to catch lightning in a bottle twice, and obviously the second time you can't do that.
Memorably, and it failed miserably.
The first time it was fucking wonderful when Mankind did it to The Rock back in the Attitude Era. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Well, because anything in the Attitude Era was catching gold, pretty much. Because
you're trying.
It was in a period of a time where it was like, again, wrestling was mainstream, so anything.
Right. So, excuse me. Alexa Bliss is she's great on Raw. She's the shining star. Now, could you? Oh my God, that's funny. I'm gonna take a quick break because I just heard something in my living room. I'm gonna kind of go off on a tangent for a second, just because it's funny every time.
Go.
I have an Amazon Echo, right?
Okay.
And Amazon Echo's name is Alexa. So it's right in front of my TV. So every time the announcers say it, she'll catch it. And it will trigger my Amazon Echo Dot. Because right when I said that right now, I just heard it in the living room. So it caught me from all the way in the other room and started saying stuff. But so getting back to what I was talking about. Alexa's great. Nia Jax could be wonderful. The only problem is her arsenal is very limited. She uses the same 3 or 4 moves, and they're kind of just using her as like the powerhouse. Could she be a great champion? Yeah, but you need to develop her character a little more. because she doesn't really have one right now. You know, she's not great on the mic by any sense of the word. She could use a little bit more polishing. I really think after watching the botch spot with Charlotte, that was very scary, and she can use a little bit more polishing on her moves.
Oh yeah, she could. I'm surprised Charlotte's not dead after that match.
Yeah,
like,
dangerous.
It was 2 bumps that just looked like Jesus.
Looked like hell. They bring Bailey up, and they make her.
What is your thought on that?
The Extreme Rules match. I don't
that
know.
Was ridiculous.
I don't know how this gets played out. If either backstage, if Bliss just said, "I don't want to get hit with a kendo stick," or they're just making Bailey out to be extremely weak.
And that's exactly how it looked like, because that makes no sense. How the hell you grab a kendo stick
and then let him tap? Yeah,
have it right there and just let it go. Cause no, I thought I missed something in the match. I turned my head for a second. Next thing I know, Bailey's on the floor getting her ass handed to her, and the next thing you know, she won. I was like, "That's it." It was less than 5 minutes. The match itself was only 6 minutes. That's why I was like, "Did I miss something?"
I don't know where this is building, because it's going to be extremely hard if you ever, because I don't think Bailey's ever going to be healed. That's never going to happen. You know, just her character is too pure, and she's got too many kids that like her. It's one of those things, just like, you know, John Cena. It's very hard to turn somebody who's such a heavy face.
Mm-hmm.
My music's playing out in the living room now, because apparently I said something about music, I guess. But no, like I said, I don't know if it was just made to make Bailey look weak, or Alexa just said backstage, "Hey, you're not hitting me with a kendo stick. I'm your champion. You know, don't fucking let me get hit with a kendo stick." So I don't know if it was Alexa backstage saying, "I don't want to get hit because it hurts," or just let's make Bailey look like a big old sissy.
And
I don't know. Because we've seen that, and that's really your women's division on Raw, is those 4. You know, do you want to count Nikki and Dana? No, not really. No. They're trying to use them more. I will give them that, with the whole, you know, being ringside for the Alexa Bliss and
because I think they realized how much better just SmackDown when we're getting treated. They were like, well, shit.
Yeah,
like, come on. like it's like we can't look that bad. Because again, the year previously, the Raw Women's division, even though it was only 2 people in the Raw Women's division last year, you'd have made it believe. You would have made it believe it's only 2 people.
It was just Charlotte and Sasha.
That's all it was. But like again, the Raw Women's division was more dominant than the SmackDown Women's.
I think what needs to happen is you need an influx of NXT women to show up to Raw, and to kind of breathe life back into it. Whoever Asuka drops the title to that next, 2 days, she's going to probably drop it at Brooklyn.
No, I don't think so. Because did you hear they announced in 2 weeks it's going to be Asuka versus Nikki in Last Man Standing?
Nikki and who? Asuka and
Asuka versus Cross. After what happened on NXT.
I thought it was a elimination match. Triple threat elimination.
No. This happened this week. It was triple threat elimination. Ruby Riott, Nikki, and Asuka. It ended in no contest because Nikki and Asuka fought in 2 weeks from now, which is so they didn't tape this yet. So they're gonna be taping it next week. But in 2 weeks, it's gonna be Asuka versus Nikki for the NXT Women's title Last Man Standing. I think this is where they're going to bite. Like they're gonna say fuck it and skip to Nikki, because again, why randomly put this match on NXT? Remember, Brooklyn isn't until August, so they have a bunch of time.
Right, to build up.
I don't think, because again, Nikki Cross is the only woman that she's yet to actually beat, personally. Because remember at San Antonio, Nikki Cross was not in that decision because she was already taken out by Billie Kay and Peyton Royce while we were there. Right. And then in Chicago, even though they like to say Asuka pinned both women, in reality, she only pinned Ruby Riott.
Right.
Because Nikki Cross kicked out of Ruby Riott, and it was just Asuka took out Ruby Riott, and yes, she was on both of them, but technically she really only pinned Ruby Riott because Nikki Cross was on the side. I'm
saying before SummerSlam, Asuka drops out, if not at TakeOver.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
During
she's August. If not before SummerSlam, Asuka's gonna be on the main roster. That's why I think they're gonna say fuck it. They're gonna say fuck it and just
they might just have her drop that title on Saturday and show up Sunday.
Oh yeah, I would not be shocked. But I think this is like the start. This is like the start of Nikki. I said it from the very beginning when I saw Sanity. All of them are going to be holding the title by the end of this.
Yep.
At the same time, I can see that happening. I can see Dane and Wolf holding the tag team. Young's gonna hold the NXT title, and the Cross gonna be holding the women's. I can see that potentially happening. So I think Nikki Cross is gonna be the start of this.
Maybe. I'm thinking Killian Dane and Wolf. While Wolf's just he's not there.
He's there. I know Wolf is just there. I know he's just like that. He's just like he's not really something big out of everybody.
No, and I think without going too far in, but if you're gonna have anyone take the tag titles off of Ankam and Razor, it's gonna be Heavy Machinery.
Oh yeah, the way it's going. Oh yeah, what were your thoughts? Since I want to get your thoughts. What about the DIY split? How beautiful was it? It was beautiful in the essence that I realized something was happening.
Nobody really expected. You kind of knew it was coming, and you were sad that it was coming. There were kind of rumors.
I was legit in tears, like when it happened. It was like, why? Just why? Because the story was there too. It was just.
But the problem is you just have so many tag teams. You don't want to flood the main roster with tag teams. They're headed to the main roster. Oh, whether Gargano goes to 205 Live and Ciampa goes somewhere else, or if they both go to 205 and start feuding at 205 Live.
I think that would benefit the cruiserweights more. I would like to think I've been saying it forever. At Brooklyn, it was going to be Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, but I don't think it's going to happen now since Tommaso's
injured. Yeah,
so it's like they're probably going to delay that. I feel like they're still going to have at least that one match on NXT before they get called up to the main roster.
Yeah,
that one match they're going to have. And how again? I love Johnny Gargano because he believes in kayfabe.
Right.
He's been dead on social media ever since this. Not one word mentioned from him on Twitter or Instagram. Nothing.
In an era where kayfabe is pretty dead.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, he legit. There's no he's off the radar. No mention of it. Anything after that. So it's like, bye. Congrats, man. You're making it epic. Yeah. Because when it first happened, all my thought was this is your friend. This was your best man. You was his best man at his wedding. Why?
Yeah.
That's all these thoughts is going to. It was just so perfect. That's why you see Triple H, for all the shit Triple H gets, he made this NXT into something. That's why it's so sad to see stuff like Tyler Breeze. At the time, Tyler Breeze, The Ascension, Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
All these people that he built up just a bit going.
Just to be, not even on TV, really.
Yeah, where the hell is Bo Dallas besides main event? I don't count main event as a show.
He came in Monday to hold back Lesnar and Samoa Joe.
That doesn't mean shit. That's my point. And same thing, I know Curtis Axel too, but it's where exactly is Bo Dallas? He was NXT. You wouldn't believe me if I say he was an NXT champion. Hell, you wouldn't believe me if I said the Ascension was the longest reigning NXT tag champion. You wouldn't believe me if I told you that.
No. They'd be like,
it's so sad.
Yeah, and that's kind of what sucks too. Is not a lot of people have the network, so they go when people from NXT debut. You're like, the fuck? Who are these people?
Yeah, Ascension was actually the thing. They were dominant.
Exactly.
They weren't Bo Dallas actually
Bo Dallas. People. Bo Dallas was challenging Neville for the NXT title. What?
Title? That was a thing. Never. Yep. And for the longest, almost Neville. If it wasn't thankfully for the cruiserweight division, him. If it wasn't for the cruiserweight division, I think that would be nobody right now.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
Because there was no one for him to shine.
Also, I would think Austin Aries probably would have been buried if it wasn't for the 205 Live, guaranteed.
Definitely. That's what at first I was hesitant. I was like, Neville. I thought Aries deserved better to be on cruiserweight division, but now I realized, there was no way he would have been able to make it on Raw. No, not
at all. Not at all.
Not even dare I say even Balor to a point right now. It's kind of iffy with Balor right now.
Yeah, I was kind of upset that he didn't break out the demon because that was a pay-per-view thing, and he kind of just he comes out as the demon.
I think they're saving the demon as if he was face Lesnar. I think that's what they're saving it for.
Yeah, I can see that where they're kind of saving it to if it's a major okay, I need to tap into my inner
Exactly, like that's like Lesnar.
My
being
inner demon
example
to like give me that extra
will be like,
strength.
well, yeah, fuck it, yeah,
You know,
that's
to trigger that. Yeah.
Yeah, so one more thing before we actually go off the air, since the only thing we know besides Money in the Bank on Raw, Roman Reigns making his announcement. What do you think that's gonna like? What do you think this is about?
It's gonna be about SummerSlam. We know that much.
Yeah, that's we know. What do you think it's gonna be?
I think it's gonna be either a move to SmackDown,
Okay,
or that he's gonna challenge John Cena when he comes back. Because if you'll notice, every time they say John Cena's coming back, it says free agent John Cena returns. So does that mean he's going to be one of those superstars who can kind of transcend brands and not kind of be brand neutral?
He's John Cena. He's John Cena, of course.
He's
the same guy. He's the same guy who, for 20 minutes, got an ass whooping from the Miz and Alex Riley back in 2011, and still somehow within 2 minutes beat the Miz in an I Quit match when it was essentially a handicap match.
Mm-hmm.
That's John Cena. So ever since then, I believe John Cena can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's God, basically. So it's like, but
he can do whatever he wants.
But with that being, see, for Roman Reigns, there's a couple things they can go about doing this. The logical step is he's going to say he wants to challenge for the Universal title.
Yeah.
Which will then lead into Braun Strowman returning. I can see that happening. Because Braun Strowman is actually cleared to return.
Mm-hmm.
If you read. So I think what's going to happen is that's the first route they could go. Braun Strowman's going to return on Monday. Because I think they were saying Braun Strowman return until after Money in the Bank because they want all the focus on Raw again. So I think he's going to return after Money in the Bank. They're going to announce that Great Ball to Fire, Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. Whoever wins will main event SummerSlam for the Universal title. And obviously that will be Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. They're going to lead to that. They can do route number 2, which is a long shot, but it will have some meaning to it.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns could talk about how he wants to become a Grand Slam. Like it's going to come out of left field, but it will make this will make sense somehow. He wants to become a Grand Slam champion, won every title except for one, which is the Intercontinental title. That could lead in something like that. So he wants to challenge for the Intercontinental title, which will make the Intercontinental title actually more important, which I think that's what he was trying to go for anyway. I know this is a long shot, but just like it makes sense because again, the only reason I say this is only because if you haven't known, they had new belt designs for both the United States Intercontinental title ready for a while now.
Right. Yes.
They're trying to find a way to introduce it on TV. So with that being said, I think if Roman Reigns wins the title at SummerSlam, that's how they're going to introduce it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's why I think that because, like, again, they've been trying to introduce these titles for a while. I thought with Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles at Backlash, I thought they was going to introduce the United States title there, the new design for it, and they still didn't do that yet. And it's like they've been like they had these two title designs for a while now. They just don't know when to debut it. So I don't know. At least for the Intercontinental title taste, maybe that's one way for getting out of it. But why not introduce a new belt design for Roman Reigns? Because he's Roman Reigns. Why not?
Sure. Yeah. For some reason, they just.
Yeah, I say like, why not? In case fucking Roman Reigns. So I don't know. That's a long shot. Option number 3. He just said he wants a match at SummerSlam and Finn Balor. Again, if you haven't noticed, Finn Balor's been going for 2 weeks. In terms of like, he hasn't yet appeared. Maybe this might turn to a heel turn for Finn Balor, Balor Club. Like,
I think we're working towards that maybe with him and Gallows and Anderson.
Which I think I still believe is involved somehow with Enzo and Cass. That's my other possibility. But Balor supposedly, again, he's been gone for 2 weeks. Ever since Extreme Rules, he's disappeared. I mean, they did a promo package on him on Raw, but still, like, he is yet to be seen for 2 weeks, which is strange. But yeah, I mean, I think the logical steps is I think Braun Strowman is going to return on. He's going to be involved with Roman Reigns now. He's going to say he wants the Universal title, despite the fact that you lost the number 1 contender. So how dare you say you want to shine the Universal title?
Yeah,
you just lost your match. So it's like who the hell are you to determine when you get a Universal title match? But I think this is going to lead to Braun Strowman returning. I think that makes most logical sense. But that's what I predict. Having Raw, but otherwise,
we'll see what happens.
Otherwise, I do. First of all, I want to appreciate Thank you, Numbskull, for showing up. Because again, me doing this show by itself, essentially me talk to myself for almost 2 hours, which I usually talk to myself anyway, but that's besides the point. But just talking to myself about wrestling for 2 hours, that's something I do appreciate. At least give me some insight on Money in the Bank, your predictions, and I got Ron's predictions out the way. But it makes it an interesting show. I mean, what do you, before we go off, what do you think is gonna like steal the show at Money in the Bank?
I think there's a big potential for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I think they really set the precedence of kind of not limiting the women anymore. I'm gonna go out on a limb and call it right now. We are going to see Charlotte do a moonsault off the ladder. That's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna go through a table. Probably the announcement table.
It's gonna be a bunch of interesting.
Probably the Spanish announcement table is gonna get shattered at some point. We are going to definitely see these women take higher risks. I'm going to go out and say Becky's going to get pushed off a ladder, when she's climbing, probably via Ellsworth.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or she's going to get held from Ellsworth. I don't know. They're kind of going out on a limb and they're letting Becky beat the shit out of James, but not vice versa. They don't really want that man-on-woman violence, but, seeing Becky's probably going to do a Bexploder on Ellsworth. It's going to happen. There's definitely going to be spots. I think the women's Money in the Bank match is going to steal the show. I think there's that, and the Jinder Orton match is going to be boring.
For me, I think for this match is going to steal the show is either going to be the women's, or again, I think the tag team match might steal the show.
What I want to happen is, for some reason, I want Lana to be phenomenal in the ring. I want to see her technicality in the ring, because apparently she's a great ring worker in NXT, but that is way different than the main roster of the pay-per-view.
I can potentially see it, Lana. I would like to see that. But how jarring that's going to be all of a sudden, all these years, always tell Lana as the manager, she's just kicking out, she's taking Naomi to her limb, what? What is this? What is this?
Russians.
Exactly. Like I said, that's gonna come out of nowhere. But I actually think the tag team match, because again, the Usos, I remember their Uso versus America Alpha on SmackDown for the titles. Nobody expected it to be as good as they probably thought it was gonna be. And that was hands down the match. And best match SmackDown had it in a couple months.
Right.
So I think the Usos and New Day might be able to do something special, because this is the first time under where they are now facing each other. How far the New Day is coming as far as the Usos is coming. I think they might. I think Jinder and Randy, it's going to be boring in terms of match quality, but in terms of how the crowd's going to react to, I think it's going to be the hottest match of the night. Solely because they don't want Jinder to win. Yeah. How much heat Jinder's going to have. I think in terms of how the crowd's going to react, I think it's going to be Jinder versus Orton, obviously. But in terms of match of the night, it's either going to be the women's or the tag team. Mm-hmm. The men's match is going to be fine. I just don't think it's going to be in terms of match of the night quality. It's crazy to think that, because you have Nakamura and AJ Styles and Owens in the fucking match, but I just don't think it's going to be in terms of stealing the show, like the crowd going to walk home saying, "Wow, that was something." I think the women's, I think the women's are going to do something special in that match. Yeah. This is their first time this is happening. So, and even though this is a minor nitpick, do you have an issue the fact that the women's have a white money briefcase and the men's have the blue one? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why are they not giving them the gold one? I understand that they're trying to say the SmackDown's blue, but my whole thing is give them the gold one, because again, Raw doesn't have a Money in the Bank, so why not give them the gold one? It just doesn't. To me, that doesn't make any sense. It's why give them the blue one?
Yeah, I mean, maybe next year it'll be a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, so that's why they want to kind of do it blue point. SmackDown briefcase, red Raw briefcase. I mean, maybe they'll have them hold it for longer. Maybe you won't have that cutoff time of, till next year's Money in the Bank. Because maybe next year it could be a Raw exclusive pay-per-view.
That is true, because again, No Mercy is now Raw. Just SmackDown. No Mercy is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, which is weird.
Right.
It just came back to SmackDown. But yeah, that's just that. But yeah, otherwise, that's it, guys. For those who was watching This Week in Wrestling, I do appreciate it. Again,
Big thanks to Numbskull Gaming for showing up the last second to help me out with the Money in the Bank predictions.
Yep.
Really appreciate it. So, anything you want to tag Numbskull before we end?
No, I'm good, man. If you want to catch me play video games, you can head on over to twitch.tv/Numbskull That's all I got to say.
All right. And as always, this is me, Creator, signing off. Catch you guys later. See ya.
Peace.